Peace and blessings, family. What's going on? I'm gonna turn this down. What's up? What's up? What's up? So we're getting ready to start the live tonight, you guys. I connected with Hood Mystic because I was just feeling like there's some deep, heavy energy that needs to be talked about this full moon and what's going on. And he is really big on like sidereal, and I want the conversation to be completely raw and organic, from connecting with what it's about, what this new moon phase is about, why it's important, and how it can really assist you. I know we're coming on late. You guys never see me this late, right? You never see me this late, but I'm excited. I'm excited about tonight. And I know a lot of people it's late for a lot of people, but quite frankly, it's needed. It's needed. Like, this energy is needed for this full moon. Plus, like, I wanted you guys to know, like, the truth, or not really necessarily truth, because the truth is what you deem it to be, but like, just, I really wanted you to know about a different perspective of astrology and about life and what is going on for the divine feminine, because I'm picking up very intuitively that a lot of stuff is just going on into the divine feminine. This is the night, Aries. Yes, I know I'm up late, right? So Hood Mystic is actually going to join us tonight, and his perspective is going to be so freaking dope. Like, you guys, if you don't know who he is, I suggest that you get connected with him on YouTube. He's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, but he was the only divine masculine energy that I felt like that's just up there. That's just up there. They're up there frequency wise. He's up there with innovative, like, new thoughts. His thought process, his patterns, the way he does things. I really think that he's going somewhere with the way he's thinking, the things that he's breaking down. Because, like, we talked about this earlier, like, with this full moon energy, many people are saying, like, if you really count on Western astrology, the full moon tells us that we're in the sign of Taurus, right? We're in a foundational or structured sign. But what I'm feeling is that we're in a completely different energy right now. I'm not feeling that we're in an earth sign. I'm just not. I'm feeling like we're just in a completely different. So, like I said before, Hood is going to come on and, like, talk about this, and we're going to have late night conversations, just vibes. I know you guys are, like, so used to me being on early, and let's see if I can get them to join in. I know you're used to me being on early, and then y'all know when I do my late night sessions, they're like, I'm a completely different person. It's like my shadow side comes out. So it's completely different when at these late night sessions. It's not even the same energy, right? But you're going to get a different perspective, and we just going to vibe out, because we've been vibing out all day. So we're just going to vibe out with the late night talk of the full moon and this energy and what is going on, how it can help assist you. And let me see if I can get Hood on here. Hood, you gotta send the request. You gotta send the request. If I do it right, hold on, wait. No, I got you. What's up? What's up? Peace, peace.
Peace, peace. That was quick. What's good? What's good? We
I'm ready.
charged
I was
up.
trying
We
to figure it
charged
out.
up. What's good?
Nothing much. I'm sick. I got my tea. I got all this Shakti energy.
Hey, hey, you had to come on here prepared. Like, that's
Right?
mandatory.
Right? I know. I'm just feeling
Yes,
this vibe of this deep, deep energy that is going through. And it was great connecting with you earlier. And it's great to
indeed.
connect with you again. I'm so happy.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
it's like the divine just opened it up like so quick. It was
It's so easy. It's
yeah,
seamless. You don't got to work hard for it. It's just
I
like
agree.
knocking on your door, you
It's
know?
there.
It's
So
there.
I wanted to talk. I wanted actually to give you kind of not give you the floor, but like to let you talk about you because of course you're you, and I know your work because I've
Hmm.
been following you and I know your what you do. But I want
Oh,
others to
sure.
really know what aspect you bring into this consciousness. Like what is all about you.
Oh, okay. So for me, man, it's pure intuition. It's pure ancestors. It's real magic. It's real psychic powers. And
Yeah.
it's magnetism. It's love. It's exemplifying it, you know. And, I'm not going to deal with the ancestors or deal with spiritual modalities and be out here flogging and faking and suffering and
Right.
all in that, So for me is prosperity. I write books. I
Yeah.
try to partner
Absolutely.
with people. You know, I take care of my fam. Like me, for real. At the end of the day, sis, like I love my children and I love my wife. Everything else is a bonus. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I just take it as it come, and try to vibe. I make music. I
Your
love.
music is amazing, by the
Thank
way,
you.
because it's like in the beginning of your videos. You guys, if you
Yeah.
don't know, his YouTube is amazing. It's the it's Hood Mystic, right? The Hood
Mhm.
Mystic on YouTube,
Mhm.
and it is like I'm vibing to the music. You can tell it's just like a completely like it's a frequency vibe.
Yeah.
It's not even like a normal like of course you listen to all these different music, but
Facts.
when you log onto that, it's like it's getting you automatically into your it's taking you into your world.
Yeah, it's a world.
Yeah.
I've always been a party, just not like a party person, introverted like you, but because I'm having such a good time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then coming out of this, it's like, oh, I gotta, the world and the
Yeah.
mundane is just like, it's so boring, it's so drab. But in my imagination, you know, like I've found so much creativity and so much genius through this spiritual work that I just be wanting to display it. I just want to share. I just want to talk. I just
Yeah.
want to, you know, just tell people about it because it's two different types of energies. You got your Western energy and you got your deep rooted, true energy. And, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I bring,
Yeah.
just study and application, learning. And I'm just a student, I
Yeah.
ain't better than nobody. It's just more or less of one more thing. Like I was on this astrology when it was just so weird. Like it was so foreign to people, you know what I'm saying? And now 2020, everybody is Mercury retrograde, full moon, this, you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful to me, but that's kind of what I bring. It's not like I'm loud and boisterous because it's like, no, I've been doing this for a while. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So it's just like I just be wanting to just express and share.
Yeah, you can
That's
tell.
what
I
I
mean, you
got.
can tell that you're experienced in it. It's not new. It's not something you're jumping on the bandwagon with because you don't give one perspective. You give multiple different perspectives that applies to the same thing. So you can
Hmm.
tell when someone is like genuine about it and they've really done the work versus someone that just hops on like they just talk about Mercury retrograde the
Facts.
whole
Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
and like think that it's more to because really science teaches us that there's really formulas to combat Mercury retrograde, right? It's like
It's
it's
an
not just
element.
that. It's like you mentioned before that it's closer to us, and that's
Yes.
literally just the energy that when it's closer to us, we have to go more internal and deal with things and highlight those internal issues. And I mean, I don't know if you want to touch on like the
Sure.
sidereal and how it affects that.
Well, first, like Mercury, it's like esoteric mythology, simple sperm, and not to be nasty, but we all come from a sexual orgasmic process, and
Now
Mercury is,
keep it 100.
yeah, you feel me? Like we all come from that. We got children that came from love making. You feel what I'm saying? So depending on if we are trying to grow something and just, don't care about it, but if we want to care about it and foster it, that is Mercury, because naturally we have an ability to crawl, to walk, to ask questions, to be, talented and have gifts. And where are these gifts coming from? A lot of times it's not always education. A lot of it is intuitive. A lot of it is inherent. That inherent nature is Mercury. So Mercury is a planet as well. Now, when Mercury as a planet comes closer, we're able to pick up on those vibes. However,
Yeah.
everybody is like, be afraid. And we, like everybody else, if things don't go our way, when, I stub my toe and I find out it's Mercury retrograde, then that's just what it is. So, and understanding sidereal combined with Mercury, I really fixated on fixed star astrology as opposed to constellations.
Okay.
Constellations is cool, but within those constellations are stars that have mythologies, and I just love to learn.
Right.
However, something about my brain is like connecting dots. You
Yeah.
understand? And then when you do like the astronomy and see the placement of the planet with the fixed star, and I ain't going to go crazy. I'm going to just say that one part.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't go too much.
I ain't going to do it. I'm just saying, once you have a planetary alignment and you begin to investigate it, you understand that, okay, this is real astrology, because the constellations is like the house. And
Okay.
then for real, if I'm gonna be like, okay, find the treasure, and you be like, the treasure is in the house, you'll
Okay.
be like, cool. But then if I be like, the basement, now that's a fixed star. You
Yeah.
with me?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like it's off into the deeper end or the deeper
Yes.
aspect of it. Yeah, gets
Yes.
into like the details.
The details.
Hmm.
And if we understand spirituality, our understanding of esoteric and abstract things, and that's why I talk the way I talk
Right.
sometimes, it may go over your head or it
Yeah.
may not make sense. However, it's like once we investigate it and we really take time with it, the answers are there. Like you hear all the time, all of the answers is within you, right?
Right.
You heard that before,
Right.
but that's some real ass shit.
Yeah.
Like
Like.
it's literally within you.
Yeah.
However, you hear it one ear out the other. Let me go to work. Let me, do this. Let me get this house. All this external shit, and then it's like, well, it's all within you.
Yeah.
This is what Cyril teaches me. It's like it's allowing me to align with real time and
Yeah.
understanding. Okay, it'd be different if you like it's the afternoon. We want to meet. We're going to do this video in the
Right.
evening time. We might not
Make me.
connect, but
Yeah.
if you say 11 p.m.
Hmm.
now, okay, that's the actual fixed star. So the fixed star that we working with is Kambalia.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
Kambalia is the star of secrets. You understand? And
Okay.
I don't know the secrets because it's a secret. So
Right.
you talk about Illuminati. Nah, it's within you. There
Yeah.
is some secrets within you. There are
Right.
some answers within you that you may not be paying attention to. So all of that to say, it's just really allowing me to kind of trust the process and
Hmm.
understanding, okay, Mercury retrograde did retrograde conjunct this actual star, and this star is about secrets.
Yeah.
So let me just be patient, and then lo and behold, I'm having a whole vibratory with you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
it, and for me it's big, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm all for connection. So how
Absolutely.
does the spirit manifest? Relationships,
Yeah. And see,
frequency.
I got a question too about
Go
that. Like
ahead.
you say, it goes into secrets. It made me think about literally. I just got a download. Do you think that some of those secrets unlock at certain ages that they are not like even though the present energy is here, but do you
Mhm.
feel like that some of those secrets only lock at certain points or certain times of your life?
So since we dealing with Mercury, this is interesting too because as you talk, I get downloads as well. it's not necessarily age, it's maturity.
Okay.
So if I was 16 and I had the same mindset as I have now, I would be the same type of energy. I may not be as mature, but I would have the same type of values and ethics and have the same type of success. However, what was my problem when I was 16? I was thinking with my little wee wee,
Right.
okay? And I couldn't get right. It when little boys, we can work and we can do all of the little things that we need to do in life. But if we thinking in that lower self, if we thinking strictly for the sperm release, sorry
Right.
for being graphic, but
Yeah.
it keeps us in that lower frequency.
Right.
And so it's not necessarily age. And I can only really speak for myself for real because, goddesses are much more complex and diverse and y'all know how y'all get it, give it up.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for men, for real, it's like if we thinking with our D,
Hmm.
cancel Christmas. No matter how much money you got, no matter how you living, you gonna get taken advantage of. It ain't gonna work out. You not gonna catch the esoteric or the occult or nothing. So you might have trouble with this,
Yeah. Absolutely.
talking to men and dealing with men because I'm gonna keep it real with you, sis. They want to smash, and maybe they not gonna say that, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if you was like, hey, I'm come through.
Yeah. It's a whole nother story. Whole nother vibe. That's a whole nother change, like
so
the frequency. Just
so you can be 68 and still thinking with your little wee wee. You
yeah.
can be
You're right. You're
16
right.
and
I
have the
get it.
higher
I get it.
consciousness and take it to the next level.
I get it because it's like I get what you're saying. It just matters on that maturity level where you are spiritually, and I think it involves doing a lot of internal work, like you talked about, to even make that spirit grow. Because I feel like when I was in college, I mean, when I first went to college, I was just like all about college. But
Hmm.
then as I got ready to transition and get more and got more involved into like my spiritual growth and where I saw myself at, I started doing the work and I noticed that I was growing really, really quickly, like within
Hmm.
like a short amount of time. I was just picking up and growing very, very fast. And then literally when you're doing the work and you're doing the internal aspect of things, people think you've been on your journey for like 50
Oh
years.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
like,
a
oh
reason for that.
yeah,
But this is why I study astrology is because it taps into your past lives.
yeah,
So if we going to deal with astrology, we got to deal with the keys. Like
yeah,
within it is Rahu Ketu. It's past life, future life. So the understanding of your past lives is the quickening. Like you done been here before, done this, been there, got the ticket, T-shirt, keychain, souvenir, you name it. Ain't
yeah,
nothing down here that you haven't done. Once you grasp this
yeah,
concept, you understand like, oh, it's really lit down here. And really, like, it's not like you just study astrology because it's cool.
right,
Like, you
right,
really trying to know who you are from a past life understanding.
right. It's like a blueprint to help you.
Yes, it's in your DNA.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like even during this time with what's going on, like as we're talking about the full moon, and this blueprint of we're talking about this the astrology and what's going on the full moon, what do you feel like that is in the blueprint for this full moon, for this new full moon? Because Western astrology teaches us
Hmm.
that we're now into the sign of Taurus. I think that's what they're saying
Yeah, it's a
that we're
full
in the
moon in
sign of like
Taurus.
a earth sign that's it's
Hmm.
very grounded.
Hmm.
And it's also going into like I forgot like 0 degrees Uranus. Don't quote me like,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, that's a fact. That's a
something
fact.
like that Uranus, and
Hmm.
it has us focus on that energy. So what people do is they go out and they either try to manifest around that energy, around
Hmm.
what is being pushed out, or they try to release based on trying to get a new start around the full moon,
Hmm.
based on the energy that's pushed out. So what is it teaching us now with this full moon energy? What is Sidereal saying about this full
Yeah.
moon?
And so the thing about sidereal is when you reference like conjunctions or aspects, it's going to be the same in Western. That don't never ever change. So if your sun is square in your chart in Western, it's going to be sun square in sidereal. The difference is the constellations. And
Yeah.
the reason that is different is because Western astrology has all of the signs in perfect little 30-degree boxes. However, the signs don't necessarily work out like that. They
Yeah.
different big constellations, small constellations. You got skinny uncles, fat uncles. Like it's just humans. Like we know this already. But yeah, the moon is going, and I say that to say the moon is going to be conjunct Uranus, Western Vedic sidereal. Okay, and this is big because it's an exact. The moon moves fast, right?
Yeah.
So, an exact conjunction, generally we say a conjunction, you give it 10 spaces before, 10 spaces after,
Give or take.
relative to the astrologer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this full moon, however, the conjunction is exact at 0 degrees. So, that's like rare and odd. But then you have to deep dive Uranus. So, Uranus is the pituitary gland. The
Hmm.
pituitary gland is the master gland. Now, we can do all of these things that we want to do, but the pituitary gland is the crown chakra. It's our ability to perceive ourselves kingly as masters or as slaves and understand that it is a choice. It is a development. It is an understanding. It is a awakening, one would say. And this is Uranus. So the moon being exact this as an astrologer, I
Hmm.
say, wait, hold up a second. This is rare. This is odd.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm prepared to let people know that a change is coming,
Yeah.
but it's indicative to your internal work. You can front like you want to all day, but
Hmm.
this pituitary gland,
Yeah.
your glandular system, the releasing of hormones. I mean, if you afraid and you perpetuate and that you courageous to me, it don't
Right.
matter. You
Right.
know,
Right.
you producing the hormones of fear,
Yeah.
and it's going to subsequently lead to everything. So
Yeah. I was just talking
regardless of
about
the constellation, you know what I'm saying? You could say it's in Taurus if you like. You can say it's in Aries if you like. I've even went so far to say it's in Cetus, but we not going
no,
there. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to.
hold
You
on.
feel me? Literally, because it's a sea monster. You feel
Yeah.
me? So it's a literal deepness that we don't have to necessarily go to. But the moon being conjunct Uranus is one of the biggest things. And just understanding the energy, family. Like,
Yeah.
Uranus is a transpersonal planet. Transpersonal, meaning that your personal development will translate or transform into other things, external things. And we are programmed to go external in,
Yeah.
get the money, and then do the internal
Do the
work.
work.
Now that
Yeah.
I have the money to pay for the psychologist, here go $4,000 a month. Fix me.
Yeah. And you got to reverse it and do it the opposite.
I
Absolutely.
say,
Yeah.
and it, so you can see how this could be a beautiful time for
Yeah.
us. Thus, that we've been, following these moon cycles, been cleansing, been
Yeah.
trying to take a little herb here and there, drink our teas and things.
yeah.
We've been, being patient with our spouses.
Yeah. For sure.
Just really trying to do the better things for us, and we can be awakened to why we are doing those things.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You understand?
you hit it. You hit it because it literally that's kind of everything that I've been feeling internally. I didn't even know how to I didn't know how to really formulate the science behind it. But
Mm,
I literally been feeling that internally. And I know a lot of people that are on this live been feeling the same way because I was going in last week like you guys gotta make this internal change. You gotta make this internal change. And they're like, well, how do we do it?
mm,
But I kept preaching like it's all about going and doing that inner work. And then I
mm,
got to download that meditation was going to really help shift like people's energy and their form
Oh
of
yeah.
like trusting their guides, their spirits to help assist them. Because I feel like the transition is going to be very, very quick after this like you said, this unique 0 degree energy of Uranus. If you, I feel
Hmm.
like if you do the work and if you go through this hard part, whatever spirit is asking of you or whatever you need to ask of yourself, I feel like you're going to come out on top very quickly. Like it's going to change like within a matter of like fast 3 months, probably less than that.
I
I feel
could
like it's
tell
coming.
you it could happen in the blink of an eye. The meditation without expectation is I can't all of the stuff that's been given to me.
Yeah,
I can't even explain it to people. Like just here. I don't even want this no more. You can have it.
yeah,
And I'm just like, how you know I want that? I didn't even
right,
say I even wanted that. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. Like internally we know what we want so deeply, right?
yeah,
And we know we can't just go to our partners and say I want this, or we
yeah,
can't go to our job and say I want that raise, but we know we need, 6-figure
something different, right?
incomes, and these things, and it's like, how do I get it? And it's like,
Yeah,
man, your meditation is so powerful now.
yeah,
Your
yes, it
meditation
is.
can remove all boundaries, and I'm just
Absolutely.
like, I can only be a witness to this. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like
yeah,
I can
what's
only be
going
a
on?
witness to it. You
I
know.
feel it. I feel it. I mean, it's these changes of what's going on. It's bringing. I feel like it's bringing some sort of reality to this, to the
Exactly, sis.
non-reality.
Exactly, sis. The conversation that we had, you couldn't tell us that we didn't grow up together.
Exactly.
I'm like, dang, like down to I'm like, it don't even matter. It's like you could be in Cali, Virginia. It didn't matter where you was,
No.
but it was kindred. And it's like,
Yeah.
remember that time we was at
Yeah.
the playground? Like it just was like it was just everything,
Yeah.
And it's like
Honestly,
it was
I
valid.
it was so easy. It was just like a complete. It was like the first time, and I was just like, "Hey, what's up?"
It just started just
Like,
chopping it.
yeah,
It was just so amazing.
it was
Like
genuine.
how
It's
could
very
you
real.
how does that happen? You know what I'm saying? How does that happen?
Like
I
you
can't
said,
explain it.
it's a unique time with Uranus, and I think that when we really are going in doing the work, we just get guided to those that are just on that same path, where you're able to build some sort of structure, some sort of something to rely on in this time. Because let's face it, this path gets freaking lonely. Like it's not necessarily just the lonely part. It's like you feel like you're on this by yourself. You're like, God
Hmm.
damn, can I
No
get
matter how many people say, I love your video
yeah,
and you helped me so much, and boy, that reading was on point. It's like it don't. Something missing. I'm
yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah, it's like, dang, what is it? And then
What
next
is
thing you
that
know,
thing?
yeah, next thing you know, you're like, man, I'm on this journey again. What else do I need to know? And then you bump into like some sort of transformation or something you need to grow. And then it's just
Yes.
like you're back on it. It's a
Yes.
roller coaster. It's
Yes.
weird.
That was my day. This morning, I just woke up. I just took a walk by myself, and just kind of reflected on things. Was listening to a audio book about marketing yourself,
Yeah,
and I was just kind of like really motivated because if you've been in this for a while, you like do things and you get celebrated, and it's like somewhat of a high, and then like you can somewhat fall off of that high,
hi,
but
yeah,
it's not like a bad thing. I'm trying to just make it simple. But you need to be re-inspired and re-engaged. And sometimes I guess I was looking for artificial ways to
hmm,
reignite
yeah,
my passion for the work that I do.
yeah,
And I couldn't figure that out.
yes,
Spirit said, you're not supposed to figure it out, my guy. You're
yeah,
supposed to allow energies to enter into your world and be excited that you can have these authentic and genuine connections
Yeah.
because of a frequency that you've chosen. You know, you
Yeah.
could be I mean, referencing myself, I could be a low down, dirty
Right.
scoundrel, and be like, getting pulled over or doing something wild and crazy out here, but I'm just
Right.
making the conscious decisions to elevate myself and do this energy work and represent the divine masculine and hold space for the divine feminine. These are all choices that you don't know that you're going to have anything on the back end, sis.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like
true.
when it happens, you're like, okay, validation, and it ain't even nothing. No money got to be in exchange. You
Yeah.
don't get the big house,
Yeah.
but that genuine connection, that
Connection.
frequency
Hmm.
is like priceless.
I
Like I
agree.
wouldn't trade it in for nothing.
I was
That's just
literally on
me.
the same stuff like last week. I was on the same stuff. Like I was like, oh, looking at the marketing, looking at this, and just looking at like different aspects. Like, oh, how can I, make sure that I'm giving myself more? And my spirit guys was like, hold on, we put you on pause. We put you on pause. Literally, they came through my dream and was like, we put you on pause, so
Hmm.
therefore you need to stop. You need to stop and do this work. And that's what I was discussing with you early about me going into like deeper into Kali Ma, because I had started my whole Kali Ma transition a couple years back when I realized that her and the goddess Sekhmet was very much in common. I felt like they had some sort of commonality.
Hmm.
But when I started to do that transition early this season, like I was like, I'm gonna start early October to start this Kali Ma energy and this transition. And I
Hmm.
felt like I took a pause because I was so worried about all the things externally. And then it took me back internally. And I'm like, well, so it actually brought up on like a lot of emotional internal shifts and changes.
Hmm.
So I was getting my readings and people were coming through and they were having some of the same things that were kind of going on. So I was like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, this is not normal. So when I started to tap into the energy, that's what brought me to this point, the same point where we're at now, because
Hmm.
I was doing the same thing. And it literally, I feel like this moment validates why you should just do more of the internal work and why you should just focus on like the now, being present. Because
Ashe.
when I was doing the exterior things, it was like, I don't know, it just didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel
Hmm.
real. And I don't like
Hmm.
that feeling. Like, I feel
Hmm.
like I don't like that fake feeling, like that just not real. Like when you're just searching and you're like, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should add more of this. And it
Yes.
wasn't like this wasn't even something that I like sought out. This was like, hey,
Facts.
this is like something like I was telling people about it. I was like, man, let me reach out to him because I
Hmm.
want him to know like how much, even though like I don't listen to a lot of people at all.
Facts.
Like when I first started
Facts.
my journey, let's face it, I think we all, well not we all, but everybody was
Hmm.
on probably Rap Smart
Hmm.
when they first
Yeah.
started their deep diving.
Yeah. YouTube superstars, I like to
Yeah.
call.
Yeah. But you got those people that are going to be marketable for that type of energy. And even when I know for me, when I'm doing my videos, I still have to make sure that I can't, I'm saying some stuff but not too stuff, because some stuff is just
Facts.
way too deep for what is going on.
Facts.
It's still a controlled platform no matter what we do.
100%.
So at the end of the day, I still want to use my gift, but I want to make sure that it's still being, used across the a way that it can be accepted, like, for the most part. And even with you, when you drop content, I'm pretty sure they block you or not,
Oh yeah, it
turn
be going
down your
crazy.
followers. Like I
Hmm.
literally went to a point in time where I did not run ads at all. When I first began, I was like, I'm not running ads because
Hmm.
I felt like they were controlling my platform. Like things
Facts.
that I was like, man, I'm shutting this down. I shut it down for like a whole, like a long time. I can't even remember
Hmm.
how long I shut it
Hmm.
down. I wasn't even running it. I was like, forget it. But then I just noticed, I was okay, well, I'm gonna start it back. But I think I'm getting ready to shut my stuff down, like the ads, just
Yeah.
close it down. Because when you get on these, I know we're going off to a different area.
No,
When
we
you get on these
here. We here.
platforms it's like they're still being controlled, and then you have to still learn how to maneuver within all of this energy on the outside and still do the internal work and still grow from that, because there's a lot of
Mm.
aspects of our life that we're still trying to maneuver in. Like sometimes I can't even lie. Sometimes I forget that I'm a freaking human.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Like I be having
I mean, but it's the
responsibilities and all of
experiences.
that.
It's the experiences that make you be like, oh dang, yeah, dang, this is reality. This hit. But sometimes I be so up in the clouds, like
Hmm.
all day,
Hmm.
every day, I'm trying to work on, alchemy, and literally with myself, not in a book, just
Yeah.
shifting my mind. And then next thing you know, it's like, damn, reality set in. Like, this is the reality. It's like, man, I got something to worry about right now. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
really think that during this time phase, it's going to be really good to shift your energy into like that internal work. But what I'm noticing, to be honest, is that people are having a hard time with trying to keep up with what is being put out there as far as like moon cycles, and then
Hmm.
how to actually do the internal work. And it was
Mm.
something that you had talked about for months, okay, weeks leading up to it. And I want you to express how important it is to really work on chakras, or really not really, I don't want to say
Yeah.
understand, but really
It's simple.
expand your
Yeah.
knowledge on the chakras, because it's more than just 7 chakras,
Oh
but
yeah.
just really expand that internal frequency that you need to help shift your life, if that makes sense.
Indeed. Indeed. And it's like a couple of things of what you were saying. It's like with the YouTube thing and the censorship and the ads, it's like for me, do I want to make money off of YouTube or do I just want to get my message across?
Yeah.
It's like I work so hard for ads and things of that nature that they really had my mind for a second to
Yeah.
the point now it's just like I might just go ad free from here on out
Yeah.
for real, because it's like, what's the point? But it's not like they be even giving me money for.
Yeah.
Like,
No, when I first started off, I agree. It was like that for me. Like I was
mm,
like, but I had got to the point where I was like, I don't care. My message is more important than my
yes,
money. So then that's when I cut it, and when it seemed like when I cut it, that's when they were like, oh, we want to see your content.
yeah,
And
that's a fact.
but even now, I just feel like now, even though I have the following, I still don't even care like so much about the ads anymore, because it really stops the message. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna cut it off for a minute. But I do think you'll benefit a lot if
mm,
you do,
mm,
because it's like you put that energy and that trust into like the divine, into like,
yes,
you
yes.
know.
You let go of the system, and it's hard. Like we was having a conversation earlier, like you know, to not even depend on spirit, but just to integrate with spirit, to be one with spirit, where it's like the tree don't wake up and go to work in the morning. Why do I need to go to work? It provides shade and sustenance and fruit and meditation and grounding, and it connects to its roots, and it does just fine. So I really, trees has been an energy that's been coming up as ways to connect. But as well, speaking of chakras, um, actually being able to understand yourself as a technology, as
Mm,
a
mm,
computer of some sort, where we imagine that all of our functions is mental,
mm-hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
we think on everything and we have our intelligence, like we just so smart, you know?
Right.
And I'm not even being facetious, I'm being for real.
Yeah.
Like we are amazing with the knowledge.
Right.
But to ground and to really get into this chakra work, like this is the realization that I'm having. Like you said, there are many different chakras, there are many different universes within you. And
Absolutely.
and these are the place and that sound crazy, right? There's many different universes within you. All right, now let's do this experiment. When you go to sleep and you dream, do you be somewhere or not?
Yeah, true story. I definitely, for me, I'd be somewhere.
I be places.
Yeah,
Just me.
yeah,
So within them universes are the places and spaces that we've seen over lifetimes. And you can Google it. Our mind records everything.
yeah,
Whether we remember it or not, it's all there.
yeah, yeah,
So the actual chakra work, like, is a lot to it, but what I'm coming to is the ability, and that's why I talk about meditation
yeah,
previously, because not only am I finding solutions, is that I know how to find the solutions. It's like, and it's not like I have a real control of it, but I have an understanding of it. Go inside of myself into a world where is an answer for my present day solution, because there hasn't been a time where I haven't experienced this problem times a million.
right, right.
It was times where we were completely archaic and we was walking around, doing real, had to fight against beasts and
Yeah,
wild animals and things of that nature, you know, trying to manifest rent money, not that hard, you know what I'm saying? Trying to like, it's really easy,
yeah,
because it's within us. Like
yeah,
I said, we hear it all the time. All of the answers are within you, but have you really sat with that concept
yeah,
enough for it to change your life? And this is what chakra work that we teach monthly.
yeah,
Um, Not just like, you can get a chakra book, but they'll be like a real authentic Vedic Hindu chakra book.
hmm,
You're not going to know nothing of
nothing.
what they're
Yeah,
going to be talking about. It's
no.
so abstract. And so, me, it's like, I'm well versed in Hindu mythology, Hindu thought. I can bring it to the hood. We
Yeah,
can talk about Shiva right now and relate it to like, in the hood. We could talk about some Shiva stuff.
yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
Kali, but
yeah,
these modalities are tantric,
yeah,
meaning the inner workings
hmm,
of your system and your process. And it's like all of the work, like, is like, first I was doing the physical level. I was thinking it was the body. I was thinking, maybe I could get manifest a nice little house or something.
yeah,
But I didn't know it was this deep, sis. I didn't
yeah.
know, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay,
I
this
can
is
eat more
real.
red to open up my red chakra, right? I can eat more red foods.
Like, I thought it was just going to be some simple stuff like that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that I was going to open up a portal, and it's like, portal, wow, within myself. Oh, what? Like, no, it's like, dreams are answers.
yeah,
Dreams are solutions. It's like, hold on, let me meditate for a second. I meditate. I lost my keys
yeah.
today.
You did. So that you was deep into it. You were deep into it, and that's like that kind of reminds me too, like when I talk about like a lot of Hindu stuff, and I don't talk about all the time because I've learned a lot of different things in a short amount of time.
Yes.
But when I talk about like the Hindu work, a lot of the works and chakras and stuff like that are sound frequency, and we kind of touched on it just a
Yes.
bit. It's big on the sound. So when I got into it, I just started working on each part, and then I didn't realize, like, oh dang, my solar plexus is like connected with Lord Rama and all of these
Mm-hmm.
different things, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh. So I started going deeper and deeper into it, but it had hit. It was something that hit for me, that
Mm-hmm.
clicked, and it started opening. And like you were saying, you get lost when you go into these meditations, and when you're actually really working, you get so lost that you forget about time. Like, I forget about my family. Like, sometimes my husband will say, oh, you're always in your room, you're in your
Mm-hmm.
spiritual room, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
so deep into it. And it's like, the more I go, the more I want to know. It's like I just keep
Yes.
going. It's hard to stop and just find a balance.
Especially when you have a breakthrough, especially when you connect it to your body. And I say one thing, like I said earlier, with the frequencies and the sounds, you epitomize sound and frequency. But it's like, it's technical, and it's like you read it in a book, but it's like they literally was explaining
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
just like I said that earlier, but it's just like every time I probably always reference that because it just sticks in my mind, the chakra work and the sound and the frequencies and how you open us up through your voice. And you know, you could be on here talking about, you know, Barbie dolls
Yeah.
or, you know, trucking or whatever, you
Yeah.
know, people would tune in. You understand, like your voice is able to be, it breaks down barriers, it breaks down walls. I'm sure you can talk to
Yes.
anybody at any point in time and either get your way or get your point across
Yeah.
because, you know, you can make a grown man cry, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
this is frequency, this
Yeah.
is mantras, this is chakras. And
Hmm.
so I say all of that to say we want to section it off, right? We want our chakras to be in the book and we want to bring our chakras out when it's spiritual time,
Yeah.
right? My thing is, you are the, man, it sounds corny and
It
cliche, but
does.
it's just your expression is that whatever chakra you want to express or whatever verb sound, you could just really translate it into your everyday conversation
Yeah.
because it is that like you're healing. You can't help but to heal. Like
Yeah.
your
It just
whole
comes.
frequency and vibe is a healing frequency and vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like the studying of it, it might have you thinking that it's something like outside of you. But like you said, Lord Rama is connected to your solar plexus, thus is indicating something about you.
Yeah.
So when you reference internal work, you got to really find that optimal zone for you to be internally. So
Yeah.
I'm legit grateful. I'm legit at peace. I'm
Yeah.
legit like loving my wife, loving my children. Every night I go to sleep, I'm so grateful for this moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that chakra work. Like,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
get me?
Yeah. It's deep. So are you
Yeah.
going to be doing any more classes anytime
Yeah.
soon?
Yeah. We doing one at the end of November. We're doing the throat chakra, the Vishuddha.
Oh, that's going to be really good. Getting ready to go in the
Yeah.
winter solstice, like
Yeah.
heavy, heavy energy. That's going to be really, really good because usually as I prepare, usually when I prepare during this time, that time phase as well, I'm doing a lot of throat chakra work, getting ready to get focused and move and transition into the sun for
Hmm.
the new year. So
Yes.
I think that's dope. Usually with your classes, are they online? How can people get in touch with like you with classes and
Alchemic.
stuff?
Well, anybody can email me. I'm real like or DM me like that. Or alchemicacademic.com. That's the scheduling platform or hoodmystic.com for everything that I got going on. But yeah, we do monthly classes like it's so crazy that I got so much going on that when people ask me that, I'm like, okay. But I got to get it to a point where I just simplify it, but it's not that hard. But Columbian Exchange is where you have the old courses, but
Okay.
Alchemic Academic is where you can schedule for future courses.
Okay.
So it just depends. I like to I guess nobody is for everybody. That's why there's many teachers out
Right.
here.
Right.
So get used to me, watch my YouTube channel, like figure out if I'm for you because it's not that I'm not studied. I just don't want to placate or play games. I like to cut straight to the point. My slogan, my tagline is that I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I'm not trying to bore you with this information. We can talk about it if you want to. Like I said, I can get nerdy with the best of them, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying to impress anybody any further. I just want to make sure you understand how important it is for you to grasp your divinity
Yeah.
because your divinity is at hand. That's what everybody is fighting for. But you may feel that it's something that you have to do for you to tap into your divinity. And it's like, no, you just literally have to tap in. You don't have to do nothing externally to validate this, whatever. Just
Yeah.
figure it out who you are. and through processes, like through development, through,
Yeah.
building with me, building with you. But yeah, Columbian Exchange,
Okay.
hoodmystic.com, Alchemic Academic. Those are the three sites. But if you wanted to really, really get like a one-on-one, just DM me.
Okay, perfect. That'll be good because I feel like a lot of people like after this live, I feel like a lot of people are going to, for those that resonate, they want to be able to connect. And then too, your wife is into herbs. She's into learning everything about the womb,
Yeah, that's
embracing
her
feminine
specialty.
energy. So, also, if they're not able to connect with you, then they might connect with your wife in that aspect of, or getting a vibe to connect with her. And she does have a YouTube channel too, correct?
Yeah, yeah, cause like if I'm too harsh, then like you probably like my wife, cause she's like not harsh at all. Like she's like super gentle, super mild. You know what I'm saying? So we really, really balance each other out. Like she smooths me out. But Mama Mystic is Mama_Mystic 911, and she, you know, it's not like womb health, very cliche. Like it's real interesting to talk about the womb. No,
Yeah.
we actually journeyed through womb restoration and building up our fertility, and like we got a house full of children now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's because of the work that we've been
Yeah,
doing flat out.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because we
Work
came in
on
this
all
thing
levels.
eating meat, and just being unhealthy, and we got the spiritual thing together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it
And it's
shows in the overall manifestation of our family.
yeah, I agree. It's a beautiful experience. Like I tell everybody, like just even about this experience when you're able to see two, and I talk to you about this when you're able to see two at a complete balance, like going on the same path. I just feel like you're in total alignment. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, there's nothing else that you can really do but continue to grow further from there, from that point,
Yeah.
because you're going to feed off of each other's energy and it's going to grow, it's going to expand. So, y'all have already expanded in this dimension, in the physical dimension. Now, this spiritual dimension is going to just completely take off further, which is going to bring more abundance, more manifestation, more physical things that people can see to the eye, which y'all doing behind the scenes because y'all already working. So yeah, if honestly, if you're too much
I
for
say
them,
one
I
thing,
think
yeah, I say one thing, like it may be like some men listening and things of that nature, and it's like sometimes I'm talking to you, I'm really getting downloads, and it'd be like whoosh, like sometimes like talking to you is like really heavy, but like
I get that all the
I
time.
have to I have to support my wife more. Like, and maybe men don't really understand that or grasp that. It's like that's actually my transformation where it's not like I'm reducing myself. It is what it is with me, but like the support for my wife has to be like a constant everyday reminder. And just what you just said reminded me of like how much I just have to be supportive and a motivating force like with her development, because the work that she's actually doing and working on and developing is transformative. But you know what I'm saying? Support the divine feminine for
Feminine.
any fellas that's listening on here. Like your wife got ideas, and she can give up on herself, but you know what I'm saying? Don't allow that. Continue
Yeah,
that support, because I can feel that energy rising. Like a lot of people say, the divine feminine energy is rising. It's a lot of men with power and influence
yeah,
that can really pour in to people. You know what I'm saying? And you got like shadow watchers, like
yeah,
men that like, it's just like I'm picking up on frequencies and vibes,
yeah,
and I just had to kind of share that. Like, it's somebody that's about to be really supported right now,
yeah,
because people are trying to figure it out. Like, what should I do with these finances? What should I do with these resources? So it's like a lot
yeah.
of
When you
booms
said
that's
that, the
happening.
numbers like jumped up. Yo,
Really.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. They
That's
jumped up.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's not it's just it's mostly because you felt that energy wave coming on through, and I mean it's necessary because
Mhm.
men have work to do too. They just don't,
Yes,
and
we
then
do.
supporting,
We
yeah.
do.
Y'all have
It's
that work.
support. We can be so egotistic in our drive and our ambition, and part of that shit is like letting that thing go, but not letting it go to like play Madden, but whatever fire we have for our ambitions and our drives and our careers, let's try to teach the divine feminine how to, you know, give that to them, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Okay, new car. Okay, new pair of Jordans,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
type of deal. Just like, okay, you got enough of that. What are we going to do now? I swear, y'all got so many ideas speaking
Yeah.
to the divine feminine, so many different businesses that
I feel
can
like we
pop.
elevate the lives. Like we could really just
It just
ah
it's just that support factor that what as I'm speaking for men, but mainly for myself and how I need to really restructure and rethink. I tell you, you a healer, so you
yeah.
be reading me.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
I feel like I be
You
tapping
be
in.
putting
I
me,
just be
you be
sending it
having to put
directly,
me
but
in
it
my
just be
place.
hitting.
You just mentioned the mere mention of my wife. It was just like a complete readjustment and reapplication. It's like tomorrow, got to make sure because today I was real active with the boys, but it's like I got to keep that up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So she can get
Still
her thing
her
going.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. And
powerful,
then
powerful.
focus on that growth for her. It's so funny too. Yeah, I had like two downloads just now. And one of them was the biggest one that came to mind was when you were talking about, I know this is far out, but I know you were talking about the
Yeah.
pituitary gland. It
Mhm.
made me think about the pineal gland, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know, would you reference that? And for those that are coming in, you guys, if you
Mhm.
don't know, this is the Hood Mystic. He is amazing at just life, okay? And life and
Thank you.
learning things, all things like esoteric, mystical, occult knowledge. So, when you're talking about the pituitary gland and then about Uranus,
Mhm. Mhm.
how it opens up in your life, it made me think about the pineal gland because I did
Mhm.
hear something from Phil Valentine, which I actually absolutely love.
I share.
But
Mhm.
I was listening to him and he was talking, this was years ago, he was talking about the pineal gland and how it opens up different cosmic energies. Is that the same thing as the
That
the
so
pituitary glands?
so our pituitary gland would be right here. Our pineal gland is like in front of it, but still in the middle of the brain. So the pineal gland is Neptune. Now
Oh,
Neptune is spiritual development. Bob Marley, Shiva, the Trident, but spiritual development to where we have to learn ourselves. We have to.
yeah,
Like, unless you come from a family that is like cosmologically sound. I mean, my family wasn't. My family was knee deep in Christian lore,
yeah,
so
yeah,
in order to in what I mean by learn myself, I had to trust my intuition. So it's rough trusting your intuition
yeah.
because your intuition might say, go be a truck driver. And it's like, I don't like
I don't want
getting
to do
my
that
nails dirty. You know what I'm
shit.
saying? I don't like putting on steel toe boots or nothing
Right?
like that,
Yeah,
get a truck driving job. So, I don't know even how to drive for real. You know
yeah,
how you can drive, but the car drive you type deal. So I gotta focus and learn how to drive this truck but I'm following my intuition. I don't know where I'm at because I had
yeah.
hopes and dreams with my life, and here I am, right in this musty old truck. But I'm following spirit though, you know what I'm saying? So I'm comfortable, but I'm like, okay, obviously you leading me somewhere. And so I'm in Ohio
Yeah,
and nothing's going on in Ohio, driving in these small towns. You thought nothing was going on in the city. Ain't
yeah.
really nothing going on in these small towns, but I'm doing my deliveries. Mounds. You know what I'm saying? And I see a mound and I'm interested. Why haven't I never heard about mounds on the news or in a movie? Just the mound. So I'm just following my intuition and there's mounds all over Ohio. Long story
Yeah,
short. And, you know, me and my family done took road trips. We done spiritually ritualized these, you know, we fully ingrained in mounds. My children, 7, 5, 2, and 3 months. And the older ones, when we go to mounds, it's a protocol. They
Right.
understand it. And I say all of this to say spiritual development. You have to learn yourself. And was there a book that said, young black man, take you and your family to the mounds and ritualize them?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. If it's a book, y'all please DM me,
Tell me
right?
about it.
Please. Uh, but and it's a lot of times you might go come to me or go to you for spiritual guidance and spiritual development, and I'll just be like, man, your ancestors may have way much more for you than
Yeah.
what I can give you.
Yeah.
Back to meditation.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I
you
don't
know,
know how to meditate, Hood.
there
How do
we
I
go.
meditate? How do I do it?
Yes, and
How do I go in? Like I'm trying. I'm getting all these thoughts, all these noises, and it's so loud. I
you
need.
go back to panic, you meditate on it all.
Yeah.
He was saying on a train, he would be on a train in New York City. That's probably the loudest thing on the planet next to a G5 jet. You feel me?
Yeah.
And he found a way to meditate on that. And I got children that just some about noise in these kids, they just in love with it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I can't peace is chaos for me. So you can search for that perfect Zen moment and seek that out and call that meditation. My whole existence is a meditation because I'm always at peace. I
Right.
don't have to, and this is a thing, and y'all might not agree, and this is a journey, but I had to wake up and go to work and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I had
agree.
to sacrifice that with, my inner morals. But I had so many gifts. But like I said, spiritual development allowed me to see all of these gifts. And now I can bring those gifts forward. But I don't have to sacrifice my energy for time or money. And
Yeah.
I can completely be devoted to those things that are important to me, i.e., spiritually development. But it's not for nothing because, I still got to put out the books, put out the content,
Yeah.
build with people like you, and expand and grow. It's not easy,
Yeah.
but I'm not upset because
Yeah.
I'm making these choices. And so I say all of that to say the spirituality and the peace that it actually creates is not a facade, it's
Yeah.
not a gimmick.
Yeah.
And you say inner work, well, you're going to have to be patient with yourself in your meditation. Give yourself an hour meditation and then be like, well, I drift off. Well, drift off.
Yeah.
See how far you can drift off, but just stick there. Well, I move. Well, move.
Yeah.
Dance,
Dance. Yeah. Because meditation, it looks different for everybody.
it looks
Absolutely.
different. That's what I say. It's a lifestyle,
Absolutely.
and you normalize meditation anytime you can. The kids asleep, catch a vibe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then just be nothing when you can be nothing.
Yeah.
If everything is everything, just go within for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
It ain't gotta be hard. It don't gotta be rocket science, but listening to other people, you may think
It
that.
makes it. Yeah. I feel like people would just put judgment, their perceptions, their energy. They put everything onto it and trying to just really try to put an equation to something that cannot be worked through. They can't be worked out. Trying to put
It's not a
mathematics.
mental
No,
process. It's a
no.
patience, trust, um, and just kind of living life too, because
Yeah.
sometimes you think it's just internal. It's an external process. Like I said, the mounds, I had to actually get out there and see it, and but just like trust in spirit enough to show
Put
you
it into
something.
action. Yeah.
Yeah.
That action part is very important when it comes to work. It's like you can do all of this thinking about things, saying things. Like even when it comes to manifestation, I'm noticing a lot of people always talk about the glorious things about manifesting.
Facts.
Oh, just write this down, just write that down, and it's gonna happen. Believe it and receive it. It sounds like the church a lot, you know. I
Yes.
hate to say it, but it
Yes.
sounds like, okay, like let me go into like a big one that I hear in the community is like going to the Bible or the book of Psalms. Like it's nothing but
Hmm.
spells. Just go to the book
Yeah.
of Psalms and just say it, and it's going to happen. but really putting that action or adding that action to whatever you're trying to focus on or work on or release, when you really put things into action, I feel like it happens very quickly, but it also tests you, because a lot of the times when you
Yes.
don't put things into action fear out of
Yes.
fear, it just
That's
it
it.
stops you. It completely and I mean, I don't know what part of the body that will resonate that fear. Maybe I don't even know. I kind of do feel like that's a heart frequency. um
Oh, fear. That's a see. Fear ain't in the cosmos. I never studied fear in astrology. That's interesting. But see,
yeah.
once again, you know, you talking about the sublime and the esoteric, which is an indication of multiple lifetimes. So
Mm-hmm.
fear is a part of the ego, which is attached to death, which we know not of, right? There's
Yeah.
certain energies that exist in the world that know all about death, that only exist in this existence, like what they would call non-playable characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, they don't
Ooh.
yeah, they
Ooh.
don't. They not. You know, when it's a restart, they the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But we going through the different levels, right?
Ooh.
We're really understanding this esoterically. Like we're really here. We're really in control, and it's a hard thing to grasp
Yeah.
when we expecting somebody to tell us.
Yeah.
But y'all be having the dreams. Y'all be going to the worlds. Y'all be having this actual downloads.
Ashe.
One, y'all don't believe it. Two, y'all don't understand that it's an inner process. The inner verse is amazingly deep and vast. The womb, men have wombs, women have wombs. We need to work with our wombs together and understand that the womb of creation is within our deepest letting go of the ego. That's the easiest way I can explain it, you know, because once you let it go, you still gonna have a car, you still gonna have a life, you still gonna be popular and go to the club, but you get a more deeper glimpse into the more sublime aspect of you.
Yeah.
And we all have that, but it's just like we're still trying to low key propagate the ego, but within the ego is fear. So it's like, where does fear come up at? It's hard, you know,
Yeah.
but and that's just me talking from a really we did the heart chakra all month and
Yeah.
trust me, at the beginning of the heart chakra, I was really afraid of that death thing or that because I have children, right?
Yeah.
And so you just constantly just like I just want to be here for them and Lord, what if something happened? And you know, you
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
deal with that
That
and
fear.
it's that fear
I
and
feel
it's
yeah.
like where is that coming from? But I really exercise my heart, right?
Yeah.
I had to exercise that fear and maybe we want to run away from that actual thing. At least that's what I did. I didn't talk about it with my wife, you
Right.
know, talk about my wife with anything, but the thoughts about death, oh,
Death. Yeah.
let me
It was
hold
just too
that
much.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so these psychologically being able to address our fears, I think do are they as strong, you
Yeah.
know, if we're talking about them. So it's just kind of one of those things. So I really like fear is real big, and it's like doing this heart chakra work. I really exercised a lot of fear, and I had a distant relationship with it for real, until you brought it back up, and it put me
It's
into a
back
different
again.
mind state. But I just can reflect on it a little, how close me and fear was not too long ago. But
Yeah.
then how much doing this heart chakra work actually exercised it for real. And sometimes when you have a particular negative emotion and you exercise it and you do the work, you could get real arrogant and cocky for
Mhm.
real. And you
Yeah.
allowed me to be real humble and really for real about everything for real. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I got some people on here like, oh, are y'all going to take questions? Or are y'all just going to just vibe on? So I definitely want to take questions, but literally, I swear, every time you say something, it makes me think. And really quick before we even get into these questions, because I don't know. When I had that fear, when I thought about fear, I just felt like fear was at the beginning of getting to the heart. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
Every time I felt like fear approached my life, I feel like it was right there in my heart chakra.
Mhm.
But here or there, like you spot on. And I mean, just
Mhm.
the vibe on that same energy and that connection is just amazing. But one of the
Mhm.
things that I talked about really quickly with the ego that reminded me, I thought of the ego kind of like a cell, right? A stem cell. I don't know if this makes sense, but it was making sense to me.
Mhm.
So like I thought of the ego like a stem cell, and then I thought of that. You know how like if you have a cell, a live cell in front of you, and
Mhm.
you constantly feed this cell something, it's going to pulsate or want to feed off of like certain energy. So
Mhm.
I thought of the ego as just that. It was something that was like a cell, external, and it constantly gets fed by the things that other people are putting into your reality.
Go
With
ahead.
like, I'm sorry, like
Go ahead.
it
Cause
constantly gets fed, and then that cell just pulsates off of that. But it needs that constant gratification instead
mhm.
of actually just being the cell that can multiply and grow.
Man,
Like I don't know, like that's it was
man,
so deep last
that's
night. I was
powerful.
I was
That's
tweeting
powerful.
I was tweeting it, and I was just so afraid that people wouldn't get it, but it was just like this deep, I don't know, deep download.
I got it. I got it. I
Yeah, it
got
just
it.
it just felt like a like I don't know. It was weird. It was crazy. It was crazy. But anyways, I wanted
Makes a
to
lot
bring
of
that up. I wanted to
sense.
bring that up about the cell because I mean it hit me and I was like, yo, this is what I was talking about last week about this fear and this cell and like
Cause the cell knows not of its power, right? Humans know not of their, like, it's this personal relationship that we exist in, that we could feel lack or
mhm,
all of these emotions, but it's like wiping all of that away, you get to a point where you could literally live the life that you want to live if you really understand it. Like, there is no one story,
no,
right?
no,
There are billions of stories that are happening simultaneously, and
mhm,
people are living their best life right now.
mhm,
Right now,
right,
people are living their worst life right now. What we can do is decide what life we want to live, and that within itself is the hardest part. But if you getting fed all of these, see, this is crazy because you'd be like, well, we need to start protesting.
yeah,
We need to be afraid of this. We need to
yeah,
do this. We need to do that. And it's like, it's a
yeah,
billion different stories happen.
yeah,
Why I gotta just follow on what you telling me? And
right,
that stem cells, that's a
yeah.
powerful, and I love that analogy.
Yeah, and it made me think about too, like when you were talking about as nine players in the game, like it makes me think like the players are almost just like cells, like they're just getting fed something. They will never really grow into a different cell, or actually their protons or their neutrons or electrons will never really go to the next phase and where it's needed to another entity or another source. It will always stay that cell. It would always be that cell. It would never
Mm,
grow, and
right.
it would always get those external things instead of the internal things. I don't know. I could
Nah,
get all into it.
but for real, if you don't have an internal dialogue, you're just the clerk at the, no disrespect, but you're just kind of just a person that you walk past.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, how many people did you walk past today if you like went to the store or something? Nobody, you know what I'm saying? It's just like everybody, don't that amaze you that
yeah,
everybody is just living their life out
yeah,
here? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
there's no real collision
yeah,
to where it's like, what are you worried about? What are you fixated on? What, so back to internal work and developing a life for yourself and you trying to figure it out. The answers are within you, but
mhm,
once again, being patient enough for that perfect personal path that's
yeah,
going to open up the co-creation, the partnerships, all of the beautiful things, even if some people don't want that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever you want is for you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We should be wise enough to understand that and begin to share that with the people. But
Yeah. Yeah. That's so deep. So I'm gonna get into some of these
sure,
questions because it's like these
back
they're
to
going off.
multiple different ways that we could discuss these things. So let's
Right.
deal with the
Okay.
people.
This is so funny because okay, here we go. Shy Newism says, or I hope I said that right. Says, so should we share those fears that we have instead of internalizing them? If we're trying to manifest things, should we share those fears outwardly? Hopefully, she's talking about he or she. Sorry, I apologize. I can't really tell. But
See,
okay, sorry. she hopefully she's talking about like I don't know if she's saying it like should we express those outwardly like into the air while we're focusing on that manifestation, or should we share those with writing things down, or if
mm,
we should just share those just with other people?
and I I guess I would say no because generally you're saying like I'm afraid of you or something like that or whatever, but generally it's like I say it to myself. I'm
Yeah.
afraid of success. I was afraid of being hurt or, where's this fear at within myself? Because generally, because we are referencing a full moon,
Hmm.
what you will see is your fears manifested during these times
Okay.
and being able to pinpoint because like I said, we are creators. So if your seed is fear, your tree is fear. Like you gonna
Ooh.
make a fear tree. So it's just like we can so working with the moon, that was a question earlier we never really touched on, but the
Yeah.
new moon is a point where we could say, this is what I intend.
Hmm.
And the full moon can give us a gauge of how far we are or how close we are to that intention, to
Yeah.
which we could, if we really want it, again, we'll continue to nurture and cultivate it. So, back to what are you manifesting? This weekend will let you know,
Yeah.
right? And me and you, we can bear witness to like, what are you manifesting? And it's like, we could have this conversation and be in sync and be in frequency. But when we're talking by ourselves, we're not too sure if we are crazy people.
Right. Right.
Like
We don't.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just not El
Right.
Loco. You know what I'm saying? However, when I talk to you, I feel lucid.
Yeah.
Okay. So I say all of that to say, what are you manifesting?
Hmm.
You know by what you see, and maybe the world that you see isn't the way that you want it to be, then release that,
Okay.
right? Release it and then go back into a new moon supercharged because like it's not you, it's the actual energy of the moon that is waxing and waning.
Yeah.
We're just understanding the process. So all of this, it's not like you got to tell people about this. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You got
Yeah.
to understand your fear,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. It's like
know?
internal things. Like you have to know what you are fearing. But
Yes.
I do feel like even with that, like knowing what you're fearing, it's just so hard to face it. And I think that's really good why you talked about like the waning aspect of things, of releasing it. Just like women have the menstruation, they have to release,
Yes.
just everything has cycles, but like
It's all
actually
connected.
releasing something on the full moon to make space or room for what is
Mm,
new, what needs to come in, what
that's
you
so
know.
powerful because I say, if you want new things, you would easily clear that space up,
Yeah.
getting rid of stuff. Y'all got clothes y'all don't even wear. They're just
Hmm.
sitting in y'all closet. But y'all want new clothes. Make
Yeah.
that make sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let it go.
And I'm just talking to myself. Don't mind me.
Yeah,
Don't
no.
mind.
So
I
wait,
ain't
wait, wait.
picking
So
on
put
nobody.
on you saying if you want a new car, you just drive it off the bridge and let it go.
Yeah, see? No, but you can test drive it. There's no law that's stopping you from test driving a vehicle. There's no
Yeah,
law. You take your license to any dealership. Hey, let me test drive that new 2020. You know,
yeah, yeah. Yo,
It-
I never thought about that. See, you make things so practical. Like,
uh, hey, but it works though. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And we get like we be doing things like we don't. Cars are expensive to us, so we be really like you know what? Somebody gonna give us a car. I mean,
yeah. We're gonna, they owe us.
yeah, somebody gonna give it to us, and that's kind of how it works out. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we could spend that money in other places. Like invest in our business and things of that nature. And maybe we don't want to spend five figures on a vehicle. Don't worry, somebody give it to us. And
yeah. And it just happened.
if you program yourself
Yeah,
like that, I'm just saying, you may program yourself to say, I need to pay $500 a month on my car note and $300 for your insurance.
yeah.
That's what your program is, and you cool with that.
No, nah. I agree. I got a car that still paid for
Oh
it.
yeah, pay for gang. You feel me? Like it ain't no other way around it. So
Yeah, so like even when you have like this, because someone just said visualizing, what you want helps, and
yes.
really. But I feel like visualization, I can't even talk, like visualization. I feel like if it's different for everybody. Like some people need it as an actual picture. Some people actually need to go sit in, like you said, test drive a new car. But if we're talking to the single mother that needs to
Hmm.
visualize her life from leaving her baby daddy,
Oh
from
man,
like how
this
do
is my
we
specialty.
how do
Don't
we
we
get into
we
that aspect of she's visualizing, like she knows internally, fearfully, she knows that she shouldn't be in this situation,
I say
but she's
don't
trying
make
to.
it. I say you can do the easy way or you can do the hard way. You can visualize it with all your might and okay, but we was talking about Kalima and so we referencing so single mother
Hmm.
is very difficult, right? Because you making it that way. That's the seed, and it's a lot of perpetuation around you that's gonna say you're a single mother. It's gonna be hard. You gotta take care of those kids alone. I get that, right?
Hmm.
I'ma just say you are a divine feminine. You have the power of menstruation. You have the power of creation. There's nothing stopping you but yourself. I was raised by a single mother,
Hmm.
so it's real like
Yeah,
I seen it. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, and I seen it in a way that I didn't even never really know
oh yeah,
that it was a problem or
yeah,
not even that's why I say it wasn't a problem.
right,
Like and not to say that it was normal. I'm trying to figure that right way of saying it. There ain't no real right way of
obstacle,
saying it.
yeah,
But we talking about one of God's greatest creations, not one of the greatest
right,
creation,
right, right,
the optimal. I came through a womb. That's my creator.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I seen many times my mother manifest things when she needed to manifest things. Like when she needed to
needed
manifest
to,
things.
yeah,
Not that she was calling people or panicking. It was just a certain prayer. It was a
yeah,
certain frequency. It's a certain vibration.
yeah,
What I know now is that the power of menstruation
hmm,
as a preventative and perpetual modality of magic,
hmm,
period.
yeah,
Now, you want to make it hard, do something else. But you want to deal with yourself and your power, the blood that courses through your body can create life.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Anything else, easy.
yeah,
So, single mothers, you feel as if you don't got it and you need that help from that partner and things of that nature, it would be nice. But 10 times out of 10, I'm aloof and distant and I
yeah.
be off in my own world, and
Yeah.
I'm not the best dad. I
Yeah. I
I
know.
love
I
my
feel you.
children, but you know, I'm just not the best dad.
Right.
So the mom, she's so much more. She cooks the meals every day. She bathes them, and I don't be on it like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? And I just be really loving these kids, but the actual care for them is
Yeah.
done by the mom, right?
Yeah.
That's just the facts.
Yeah.
And all of her power, all of her energy is in her blood.
Mhm.
And it's like the menstruation, what what we try to work on is the positivity energy during that time,
Yeah.
because what I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, because don't be mad at me, but it'd be like, fuck,
Yeah.
god damn it, my friend is here, can't get it on like I need to get it on this weekend. Shit. Am I lying? I mean, I don't want to say nothing that'll be pissing y'all off,
Nah,
but
I mean, I just told her, I'm like, yes.
see that, but that's the manifestation
Yeah.
power. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's different.
I love it because I feel like I get a complete reset. It's like an internal reset. And I'm like, no, I'm in this vibe and I like to just stay in this frequency. I don't like to
Mm,
really go out and move. I just
mm.
embrace it. I'm like,
That power.
yes. I'm like, yes, I get a reset. Like, I don't know. It does something different for me. But totally,
I know it's power. I
when you
know it
have
is.
that single mother that is just trying to figure out how to really mm, make decisions, not really fully aware of her power as a divine feminine,
Ooh,
but just more like as a she's just going
ooh.
through. She's trying to figure out how to maneuver, and she knows that these feelings are there, but she doesn't really know how to trust it because she doesn't have I guess you would say like support, like
Yes,
documents that
yes.
actually tell her like, hey, you can do this. She doesn't have
Mm.
anything to really reference. um
Yeah, it's
you
not
know
talked about, and then our general consensus is to be negative towards that time. But for real, getting the Medusa channel, it was just that this is our power. The
yeah,
blood is our power. The snake, and really, so like you said, you're not going to read it in a book. And that's
yeah,
the hard thing. We can have these conversations. We can document these things. We can bear witness to these things. Like you said it. You changed lives. Like you said, like when I have my period, I'm like, yes,
yeah.
right? That changed lives.
Mm-hmm.
End of story.
Yeah, true. It's like done.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
the more that and these are the things that we are going through. These are the things that we are experiencing, and we're not talking about it, right?
right.
So my thing is, but like I said, this is because the lower chakra is not fully engaged. Talking about sex and sexual health without feeling the pressure of sex. And I think mothers and women need to talk to other people about sex,
Yeah,
because y'all not talking about sex.
I
Like,
agree. I
you know what
agree.
I'm saying? It's just
Yeah,
like one of those things y'all like. So the moon is in a fire sign, so the
yeah,
passion is inciting, right? But passion is cool, but what if we had the mental in alignment? What
yeah,
if we had the emotions in alignment? What if we had the physical in alignment and then brought the passion into it? You know,
yeah,
these are just choices, but Western astrology conditions us to be passion first.
yeah,
Aries is the first sign,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
the actual ecliptic is moved to Pisces. Like the actual beginning sign is Pisces now,
yeah.
because the ecliptic changes over time. So 2,000 years ago, Aries was the first sign. So
Hmm.
2,000 years ago, it made sense to be passion first. But as we evolved as a species, as an understanding, um, we don't gotta be knocking boots all the time. I just
Yeah,
think we have evolved to that point that we can hold space, man, and just catch all types of vibes. And
yeah,
y'all don't feel pressured sexually, and we don't feel pressured, and building,
Yeah.
and learning, right?
Hmm.
About real stuff,
Yeah.
that's going to really help us. Like, because a lot of times you hear stuff and it don't actually help you.
Hit
It
you.
just
Yeah.
sound good, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you talk about that because even as a divine feminine, I definitely don't even talk about sex. Like I don't know. For me, I've learned how to transmute my energy. So if it's anything that's related to the sex, I don't know. I guess because I'm so deep in my studies, I don't care about sex. It's just it.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's not It's not even an energy that comes and hits me. Like I don't care about it. It's like
But to
I've learned
some
how to
people,
take.
they be like, girl, you lying. That
No,
ain't.
I know. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part because I'm pretty sure I got some women on here that just I don't know. It's like I really feel like I don't know if it's my 12th house sign. I kind of
Mhm.
feel like it's my 12th house. I have like I have
Them 12
Mercury.
houses do it, though.
Yeah, I feel like I think I have like Mercury, like Mars or something. Maybe it's Mars in my 12th house. I don't know, but I feel like
12 house placements, you be really unbothered with whatever going on out here in these
yeah.
streets. You be like, y'all can have it. You
I
know what
don't
I'm
care.
saying?
It's like I'm totally past that point. It's like I'm learning how to take that energy, well, working with that energy, even Kali, to work in that tantric. I'm learning how to take everything that she gives because that's one of the things that she hits you with is a lot of sexual energy. And I take that energy that she gives to me and I transmute it into something totally different. Yeah. It goes into something completely. It goes into my
People
transformation.
see, we need to have these conversations because you may think that the sexual energy mean that you got to knock boots with the finest thing walking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We really programmed to think like that, like hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, no pass go.
Yeah.
However, we talking about energy work, back to chakras, back to meditation.
Yeah.
What if you don't act on that sexual energy, but you don't suppress it either?
Yeah.
That's different. You bring it up through your chakra system.
Yeah.
So it's like this constant. So the body is now producing cannabinoids and opioids
Yeah.
and all of these positive vibrations, and then you read in the Hindu script about nirvana and you think that
Yeah.
it's some far off place, but no, it's your body producing the hormones that present that. But do you think the Hindu said nirvana comes from knocking boots every time you get a chance to?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or was it a restoration and a bringing up of these divine cosmic energies and learning them?
Yeah.
Have you ever learned your sex,
Yeah.
right? Like learned it, like, you know, just not used it for
Yeah.
your own personal pleasure,
Yeah.
and these are very intimate,
Mm-hmm.
necessary conversations that, let's be honest, black men and black women don't get to have because we too concerned with getting in each other's drawers.
Yeah. It's the external aspect of things that we just connect. We constantly want that connection. And I think it's because we're not really going within. It's like we're searching for something outside of ourselves. And then we get that reflection of that somebody that is like either a reflection of the good, well, I don't want to say good or bad, but what we deem as good or what we deem
Facts.
as bad or what we deem as forbidden, what we deem as like someone that can bring out the inner aspect, shadow aspect, or whatever it is that you're looking for at that moment, but it's because you're not looking at yourself. And that brought me to like this other question that came up
Hmm.
that this she is it shy? Is it shy? I hope I said that right. She is on it. She's like, I have another question. She's like, how do we know when obstacles are placed in front of us to stop us, or when they are placed in front of us to force us to drive our creativity? How can we tell the difference between the two? Obstacles.
Ooh. I would, so it's like it's a certain energy. Say for instance, I'm writing a book. I'll write that motherfucker. Man, sorry, excuse my
Yeah.
language, but
I know.
I will write it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Obstacle nothing. You feel
Yeah.
me? However, um, thinking that I was going, I don't know what I was thinking I was going to do when I lost my keys. It just,
Yeah.
whatever I was going to do, it wasn't going to happen, right? That's a whole obstacle that I had to fully be at peace with.
Yeah.
I, you know, my wife here, she'll say, we wasn't tripping. We were just like, dang, where the keys at? We, not mad or tripping or nothing. Like, gotta be somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We ain't going nowhere no time soon without these keys. We might as well catch a whole vibe and
Yeah.
relax. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like an obstacle. Say, for instance, you are divinely led to do something and you move in that direction. 10 times out of 10, I find it hard that you experience obstacles. But say, for instance, you ain't, and this is not what I feel, but something
Right.
that you would feel like I shouldn't be doing this, or I just really want to do this and I don't even know why. I just want to
Yeah.
do it, but I'm having obstacles. Well, stop.
Right.
Spirit
Yeah.
trying to tell you something. Listen, there's nothing more, this is my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree. There's nothing more important to me than learning myself and understanding my soul. Meaning that, and this is I got real authority issues and trying to please my
Yeah.
mama type
Hmm.
stuff. And I'm going to trying to be a man and have the bag and money and things of
Yeah.
that nature. So I'm going to work real hard,
Yeah.
letting that go. You know what I'm saying? And trying to find myself as a man and understanding divine feminine within my heart and all of these esoteric concepts and then like
Concept. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and it's just like, for what though? It's the most important thing. So there is no obstacle in finding yourself, and then when yourself says go and you go, write that book. I
Yeah.
promise you, no obstacle,
Yeah.
zero, right? But when you like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, you get obstacles, your
Yeah.
spirit telling you something right there. Listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
sit your ass down,
Yeah. Yeah.
relax,
Don't move.
take a couple chill pills, and just catch a whole vibe until spirit start working with you again. You
I
know how
agree.
many times
Yeah.
I take breaks with this
Yeah.
stuff, man? I
Yeah.
break in a heartbeat. I sleep the whole day away.
He
I ain't working hard for nothing or nobody. You
said, I'm
understand?
done.
Spirit's like,
I
I was
feel
trying to
it. I
relax.
feel it. Like I feel like when those obstacles or how to really for me, like how do I identify them? It's more so with time because I feel like time is a measurement that's not a measurement. That's not a measurement. So when
Facts.
you do take that time to just be with yourself, it's very much like what you're saying. You take that time to kind of see, then I feel like that's how you're able to determine if it's an obstacle or if it's something that you should really focus on or spirit is pushing you towards that energy. One thing for me that comes up quite often in my obstacles for my spiritual journey is actually executing things at the proper time. And I can only know when to execute when I take the time. And then another thing that came up for me, you were spot on with it earlier when we was having this conversation, is just trusting the trust aspect of it. So when you see that there's an obstacle, and this is easy for me to kind of save, like from my perspective, when you see that there's an obstacle, what I do is I write the obstacle down. I write down what I think is my obstacle, and then I spend time for me in my meditation, or I spend time and I look
Mm,
for things that show up in my life that teach me or show me or just confirm that it's an obstacle, like
mm,
tangible things. Like
mm. Ooh, sis, you
yeah,
cooking.
like that's how I feel. I feel like it's like when the tangible things start showing up, and then it reminds me like, okay, this is an obstacle. Then I go back to the obstacle and be like, okay,
mm.
now I see this is an obstacle that I have to remove, and it makes it easier to like
Ooh,
execute. Like I look for those tangible things, if that makes sense, I
that
mean,
makes a lot of sense to
because
me.
if that one thing keeps coming up over and over, and you keep getting tangible like experiences with that one thing that you're questioning is an obstacle, then yeah, hell yeah, that's an obstacle. You keep
Hmm.
getting the same things that are popping up as reminders.
Those subtle obstacles, those
Yes.
subtle, and man,
Yes.
You healing, you healing. That's what I'm gonna say with you. You healing, and I love this, experience because it's just like I feel like a lot of men need this experience. I don't feel this is a privileged seat,
Yeah. Yeah.
fair or not.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a man. You got a gift. You know what I'm saying? And it allows me to be very, very introspective and very, very humble. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
No, I appreciate it. It's all vibes, dude.
Mm,
It's I feel like we've shift open and open up a few doors. Even if it's just a few. I don't care. I mean,
mm.
I feel like the perspective and what's like everyone's saying, like y'all are like crazy vibing off of each other, like y'all have known each other for years,
For
like
years, we
a
just started
lifetime.
talking today. Like,
Yeah. It
fact.
was a phone call and that was
Just
it.
a
Like
little,
it's crazy.
a
And
whole
then
vibe.
yeah, I mean that's literally what everyone's like. What in the world? And we've maintained the people like the whole entire time. The numbers have barely dropped. It
Mm,
they come back up and they're drop like go back and
hmm
forth, but it lets you know that it's genuine information, especially during this time because it's hard to find that. You get so many people that
Yeah,
are going to prompt or promote what they're doing in the spiritual, not necessarily what they're doing, but products or things that's helping them, but you're not going to get the real on how to really work that
the
energy.
occultism, the
Yeah,
psychic, the magnetism, the real things that, like, I want you to walk into a room and get what you want. Like, I
yeah,
want you to be magnificent with your esoteric abilities. And
yeah,
so a lot of it is where what we talked about earlier, I I think we confirm within each other that this magic is real.
yeah, absolutely.
So, whether we talking to somebody tomorrow or dealing with our partners or dealing with our children, it's a little bit more confidence in our little swagger and our
Yeah,
way of communicating because you can say that it's real and I can prove that it's real. Hey, check my reviews out and join my class and all
yeah,
of these things we be trying to do to just
mhm,
kind of prove to people that this shit is real,
yeah,
that I let it go. Like you can listen to this conversation and be like, well, how long y'all known each other for?
yeah, yeah.
Couple hours.
True.
But like
Yeah,
we said earlier, single mothers, single fathers, single guys, just in general, they wake up in the morning and they say, ain't no good women out here. I can't find no spiritual person to be connected with. And I'm like, why you keep manifesting that? I
yeah,
want you to I know
yeah,
I can manifest me a divine feminine. Like
yeah.
I had to know that, right?
Hmm.
Before I attracted it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can do this. Like
Absolutely.
we can do this. We can change our lives in this magic shit. Like you may think that it's a fake and floozy and it's a lot of fakes and floozies out here, but to the people that are here, it's a privileged seat.
Yeah.
All of your subscribers, they deal with you. They feel like the luckiest subscribers on the planet. You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying? People love you
Yeah.
because the way that you heal, you really heal. And I think us a lot of people out here that don't really heal,
Yeah.
that it's a sad,
Yeah.
because that's what people are really seeking. So we have to unite and show that, through our conversation. And if you want to talk about anything magical now or in the future, we can always do that
Yeah.
because this is the things that we need to begin to talk about with the people
Yeah.
because it's all within us. I know I said that a few times today, but now we got to know how to use it. We got to know how to apply it. In these conversations, we can now have them,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful time.
Yeah. The elements are very important when it comes to like in when I'm working with magic, but also using my body as an element. Knowing my
Facts,
body I like my body is a full blown crystal.
facts. It's a thing, I was like, damn, my body's alkaline for real. Like I
Yes.
am who I am, but I know my internals is really. clicking on something, and it's not like I'm waking up and not doing the things that I need to do, or I'm not doing those. I'm actually doing those things, and I can over time too. Like it's just like a different frequency and a different vibration. This attraction is very it's very different now. You know what I'm saying? And I swear, I was like, I just need people that I can look up to in my
Yeah.
life. I promise you, that was just a meditation. I just want people that I respect and like close to me, and it's happening again.
Just like that. You brought it to the forefront.
Yes.
It came just like that.
Yes.
Oh gosh, it was quick. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
one of those things. It was like, but for me, like I feel like that happens. That attraction happens when you do the shadow work, because it's like you don't get more of the you don't really get the material things up front. You kind of get that attraction to move or help shift you towards those things that you get that vibe and that frequency, and then next thing you know, it start open, like things opening up when you
Yeah.
work on shadow work. But if you're constantly just projecting about, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this,
Yes.
then you're gonna get fleeting things, like things that are not going to last, like experiences, money.
Yes.
Your money's gonna come and go. But one thing I want to share, because spirit is like dawning this on me when we
Go
talk about
ahead.
magic, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people on here are not having issues with money. They're having issues with keeping the money on them, like allowing the money to stick to them so it doesn't constantly flow out. So one of the things I want to share that helped me,
Go
and
ahead.
that I think is really good. I don't know if it'll be good around this time. I like to do it around the new moon. But it's like a bean magic. If you take all of these different beans, you take whatever bean you can find except for black bean. I don't use black bean. But you
Mm-hmm.
take all of these different beans and you mix it with honey or molasses or whatever the case may be, and you use it and you stick the beans on you, and you just say, all of my money sticks to me and all of these things stick to me, and they come forth and stick to me. And I notice when I usually do that, things
Mm-hmm.
shift fast. It's like money is just, it comes in and it sticks. It's
Mm-hmm.
no lie. But just talking to
Mm.
those beings, mixing the elements. So I don't know if anybody's into
I
that type
love
of
that.
aspect, but I
I
mean,
love that.
yo,
These
try
are the
it.
conversations.
Try
Yes.
it. Try it.
Yes.
But one thing that I will tell you, it gets messy. It gets messy as hell. So I put a towel down because
Mm.
it's hard to do it like in the shower and get the beans off of you. But I do it in front of a mirror. Okay, when you're
Mm.
in front of the mirror, you're completely exposed. But
Yes. Mirror
I do it in
magic
front of,
is
it's
lit.
the best, right?
Lit.
I feel like it's like I do it in front of the mirror and I do it around this moon. I usually do it around the new moon, but not every time. I only do it when spirit tells me, basically.
Mm.
But or when I feel that energy come up. But you take a towel, you stand over the towel, and I mean you're mixing the beans with the molasses or with the honey. I use molasses because it's just
Mm.
thick, it's
Yeah.
rich, it's everything. So I start sticking it everywhere. But you have to be careful because
Mm.
if you let it dry up too much, it will
It'll
literally take,
stick.
it will literally stick to the point where
Mm.
it will like peel your
Mm.
rip your skin. It hurts so bad.
Mm.
If you try it, like
Mm.
I would say try it. Just try
I'ma
it. Whenever
definitely
you
try
feel
it.
the urge
I'm
to try it,
definitely trying it.
and
Definitely.
get all different kind of beans. Like I
Mm.
mean, chickpeas, black eyed peas, whatever. Don't use black beans. Don't use black beans because I always think of black beans as like repelling something from me.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I use the white beans, I use red beans, and I'm all these different lentils, especially lentils and stuff like that. I keep naturally I'm vegan, so I have all these. You're vegan too, so I have all
Mm.
these dang on beans, and I mix them in a bowl, and I take them and I just talk about how this everything that's coming to me, it's just sticking to me, it's just staying with me because I don't think,
So, can I ask you a question? Do you
yeah,
verbalize when you do work? Like, is your work mainly like you utilize auditory, or are you like silent in your work?
i'm I'm always silent.
Okay.
I can never really like say I can never really say things in my magic. Like I can never really say things. It just doesn't seem real. It's like I'm trying to convince myself that it's real.
Go
I don't
ahead.
know. It's
Go
like I try to
ahead. I love
convince
that.
myself. so I don't say anything. I just do it in crap. We're going out. My battery's dying. I don't
Okay.
have like I don't have certain words that I say. I just if I feel the need to say something and it's like confirmation. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is it. Like it's just mostly like confirmation, but I'm in my head constantly, and that could be the air sign that I am. I'm constantly in my head. Like I say it and it just works. I don't know.
No, I was just asking. I was just asking and just asking
Yeah.
because this was like a, as you were saying, like the ritual. I was wondering, were you verbalizing it or were you just thinking these things? And do you think that they matter when you doing work?
I think it does. I mean, now, get granted, when it's time for me to do some real work, like to fuck some shit up or banish some stuff off of me, like constantly being in the media, you always get that evil eye. Then
Hmm.
you best believe I'm talking. I'm speaking. And
Okay.
I'm not speaking as like, I'm not doing the little simple manifestation like, I'm removing evil eye. No, I'm speaking Sanskrit. I'm speaking real, like, ancient, the language of gods. And it's constant repetition for me for that
That
because I'm really
really
moving it.
works. That
Yeah,
really works.
yeah. I'm
I-
I'm working. I'm really working. I'm
you
moving
help.
it.
You're helping me. You're helping me. You're just such a great help. Like I can't even explain. Like yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I go deep into like that deep Sanskrit language or whatever. And I mean, when I'm working at least 5 hours. Like I'm like a monk, yo.
Oh, okay, okay,
I'm like a
okay.
monk. Like I don't know if you ever read my chart, you will see why. But I don't know.
Hmm.
When I got my chart read from like a Vedic person or Vedic perspective, and it was really good listening to his perspective. But I knew it was still more to me that I just didn't know. But in my chart, it shows like I'm really like a monk. I'm really like
Hmm.
I'm a man.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like I'm a
I
priest.
yeah, is there like that could even be oracular. I could definitely feel like I've been really running into oracular spirits like oracles. Like
Yeah, yeah. Yo, I didn't even think about that.
mhm.
Hell, am I an oracle? I didn't
it's
even
a
think about
it's
that.
a necessary energy, and I feel like it's a lot of different people who, like talk to me and I'm like, well, doing charts and I'm pointing out this particular energy, but then again, as the society goes through what it goes through, there's a rising up of right and exactitude, of magical foresight. So, like a lot of people hustle the psychic thing, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but you could actually foretell the future,
Yeah.
which is very much valuable and necessary. And like the work that you do in the mediumship and being able to connect with ancestors is so vital right now because
Yeah.
our ancestors are in control.
Holy crap. Yes, they are. I had mine show up in my damn dream. I mean, last night. And I woke up like ready to fight because I was like, what the hell is I didn't I knew it was them, but it was oh my gosh, it was the experience that I had. It was like me and you, like it was clear as day. And it's
Hmm.
right here and it's like, what the hell? Like how are you even in this form? Like you're a person. You're like I know, but I actually see you and I can touch you and feel
Yes,
it's weird. It
yes,
was yo, I was about ready to fight. Didn't know I
yes,
was about to fight one of my strongest, biggest.
yes.
But cause literally I was just like, holy crap.
Hmm.
And I literally like even to testify like over my one of my altars, one in my space, I saw a big energy that was a shape, and it was nothing making the shape. It was nothing making the form. It was just there, and I knew. So I mean, the ancestors they're here right now. I mean, they're
The
within us.
present.
Yeah,
The veil is very thin, and what we could really do with this is be receptive. So we have our careers and we have our ambitions and we have our ideas. those are very, very great. But I tell you one thing, I did not know what the ancestors had for me until I listened to them. We
Yeah.
can assume a lot of different things, right? But trust me, an open heart and an open mind, as the veil is thin, you know, a
Yeah.
lot of people may think of this as like spookism or negativity, and you may be even scared or startled by the experience. Because
Yeah.
last night, healing, right? You
Yeah.
healing. My wife asked me, like, what did you dream about? I say, I don't remember because I was so afraid that I forgot until you just said that. And
Yeah.
it was the same type of energy. It was the same type of magnificence and strength that I was able to see, but I was afraid of it because
Yeah.
I didn't. We have we are not going to be told on the news that our ancestors are in control.
Right. Right.
We have to bear witness to that, and then we have to move forward with that knowledge of
Yeah.
self.
Absolutely. Because they show up every, not even that they show up, you can feel them when you're attached. Like somebody was just saying, they were like, they can feel when future energies come in. And hold on, I just want to make sure this is plugged up so it doesn't shut off on us.
Sure.
Okay, wait. Yeah, it's in there. So they can feel like when future things occur, but they don't want to be the bearer of bad news because maybe your ancestor was someone that actually had this particular gift, and I mean, it's you because you're the same blood, and it's come
Go
down to you, you
go
know.
ahead. And there's no
So
denying that. And just because our tribes were messed up and we were switched around and mixed around and we don't know our history, they can't take your blood away.
no, no, you can give your blood away. I actually did
Facts.
in the beginning of my spiritual journey, trying to figure out who I was. I was like, oh, I'm going to ancestry.com, and
Hmm.
I gave my blood away, and then I had to fight for it back. And I don't even know if it actually was destroyed, but I literally went through a court proceeding of all this
Oh wow.
paperwork of trying to get my DNA destroyed because I didn't realize it. I didn't realize how powerful it was. I'm just like, I was, in the beginning process, I was like, oh, I really want to know. I want to know who I am. I want to know. And then I realized my ancestors was like, yo, your blood is not even in the system because you're so indigenous to this land. Like we were killed off before
Yeah.
you don't,
There's
your
no
blood
name
doesn't
to the
exist.
tribe. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I had to get a strong divination reading to really determine what tribe. And even
Hmm.
after that, like I had this was before I even got a strong divination reading. And this brings me up to a question too, but this
Hmm.
was before got a strong divination reading that I knew I felt the energy of what I was. I knew because my great grandmother had told me, but I didn't have a name to the tribe. And then when
Facts.
I got a strong divination reading, it was a name to the tribe. And then I had to I had my ancestors clarify, but
Hmm.
it was coming. I didn't realize. I thought it was only on one aspect of my life, but it was coming in on a whole other aspect of my life. And
Hmm.
it's one of those things that you have to really zone in and like realize that you're like multifaceted. I guess you're not just one thing. And that
Facts.
that brings me to a question when someone just says, how do we feel about divinations? Do you think people can give themselves a divination? For me, I feel like hell yeah, I can give myself a
You
divination.
damn right.
I give myself a divination when I'm out of alignment, when I know
Do
it.
I? Am I gonna rely on somebody else to divine me? That don't
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
It's like, we have to divinate ourselves. But
Hmm.
this is Neptunian. This is our pineal gland. Sometimes we try to read it.
Hmm.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
I read about spiritual powers. That means I must have them. To
yeah,
which it ain't that simple. It's the
yeah.
same way as you reading about basketball. That don't mean you shot some hoops.
Right.
So our ability to integrate these processes, and so it's like is it right or is it wrong? You have to really follow the course. If you're going to imagine yourself to divine yourself, you got to really figure that part out.
Yeah.
Where what I'm saying is that it may not come in one day.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
It may be a process where spirit is taking you down a journey. And can we be patient and safe and protected and trusting in that journey?
Mhm.
That's what would be my question. You know what I'm saying? Because we just want it so fast. And
Mhm.
maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but the patience of spiritual journey, or just to say 20 years from now, I would love to be having spiritual conversations with people and, just still in this space, still advancing, still expanding, but not so much that I can't have a conversation with people.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm
And
the opposite. You would think that I could have like a deep conversation with everybody, but I'm really not. I really can't. Like I really can't. It's like I don't know. I can do it on this type of way, but
uh-huh.
any other way, it's just like, oh, I'm absorbing too much. You should see me when I'm out in public. I'm like, oh hell no, I got to go. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting all these
Mm-hmm.
jitters. But I was gonna do you another one. Like it's not just too about the different days. Like sometimes you might have to get up at different times to hear or get a message of divination too. Because if you try getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and hearing spirit, it might be a little bit more clear or louder, maybe in the afternoon, or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. So I
Yeah.
say that too, like trying different times.
Taking a
Uh,
nap.
yeah, yeah, because sleep coming in, things like that. That can help with divination, but I think you can definitely give yourself a divination. I do it all the time. It's just I think where you're running into this person that asked you, I think where you're running into the conflict is actually trusting what you get
Facts.
when
That's
you
the
get it.
thing. Yes. That's the thing. I like to divine first thing in the morning and investigate that day. I journal previous and then look at it at the end. How
Yeah,
did this day play out? And that's how I kind of taught myself energy,
yeah,
you know, just investigating these things and learning yourself. Like I say a lot of times, it's just like you're not going to get a wrong answer, but you might get a lesson.
yeah,
Now, do you perceive that lesson as a negative thing or the wrong answer in your divination? Spirit can teach us so much,
hmm,
but are we ready to listen and learn from ourself? It's like it's a perception.
yeah,
Today, I'm going to learn what Spirit has for me.
yeah,
you will you you will just gain so much that day. But if you're like, today I'm going to do everything that I want to do, and if things don't happen my way, I'm a pout and throw temper tantrums. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? You'll get that too.
yeah. That's how I used to start my mornings off. I used to be like, I was like I would say Om Nama not no now I'm thinking about something else right now. Let me get to it. I'm thinking about another mantra, but I would say something Om Gure Te or something like that, Namaha or something like that.
Mhm.
And I would come like that would be the first thing I would say to myself in the morning, and I would literally pray and say, Spirit, give whatever I need to know for the day. What is it that I need to know? And literally the
You will
messages, the
get it.
downloads were like, yo, it was
You will
so
get it.
it's intense. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, what? This is what I'm learning today. And then I will journal it down, write it down because I know I won't remember it. But then when I go back over like a couple of
Yes,
days, I'm like, whoa, this played out. Like this
it
happened.
does.
Yeah.
Yes.
So divination is important. I mean, divination is not just cards or not just pendulums or dice or whatever the case whatever you're using. I think divination is an internal system. Um, it's something that you can use with your own self, your own intuition.
Hmm.
That makes sense. Your intuition is some sort of divination. But if you need something in a tangible form, then you need to find what works for you in the tangible form,
And
Um,
then you may also feel like you need some help or some guidance.
yeah,
You can sow that seed and you will, the math, like when the student is ready, the teacher will
appear.
appear.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
been Poleros and Santeros that have come across my path that I wouldn't know a Polero from, a hole in the wall. However, I'm getting numbers slid to me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you need to come holler at me on the low, after, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Or
yeah,
I can hook you up with this person. And it's like, and it may sound sketchy, but your soul is letting you know, hey, we got you. You
yeah.
said you needed this. And it's like I'm referencing a real experience that we had down in New Orleans. We don't know nobody from nothing. We just traveling,
Traveling.
enjoying our lives. Somehow we get in contact with a Polero and we get in our divination happening,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
it's like it was necessary for us
yeah,
because me and my wife, we just in love and having fun. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that it's a spiritual journey and a spiritual mission that we going to do.
yeah.
We just, dating.
I feel like that's the journey of us constantly. It's like we go through. It's so funny because I had the same experience. Like I want to touch on two things. I
Hmm.
know I'm being selfish with time. I know you guys are dead, but 92.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
build. Usually I'm
I'm
kicked off of
grateful. I love it.
Instagram, so
I, I,
this
I'm
is
being
new.
selfish, and I know others have to go to bed too. But like the crazy thing is, our numbers is just it's still up there. It's just not
Hmm.
going anywhere. So
Right.
literally, my experience when you talk about those two things, like when you were talking about the whole Polaro, I pissed the Polaro off. I did because I think it was like his ego. He was like, do you know who I am? I'm a
Hmm.
Polaro. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck who you, do you know who I am?
Hmm.
I'm Charlie Ma. I eat time. Like, I
Hmm.
destroy. I'm Sekhmet. Like, I didn't care. I was like, listen, I am the energy of the universe. So it's nothing you can do to me. But anyways,
Hmm.
here or there, to talk about that experience of being able to go somewhere and you didn't think it was completely spiritual, but you were having fun and thinking it's fun, and then bam, hit you. That's another reminder that sometimes when you get obstacles, some of the obstacles you cannot see, right? You can't see some obstacles that are, I guess, in your peripheral or in your blind spot, because that same thing happened to me on like the time I was doing a woman's event, like elevation of soul and goddess vibing. Literally on my birthday week, I had something hit me with an old friend. It was like it was an obstacle for me. In your situation, it wasn't. Like,
Hmm.
you were going for like entertainment, fun, and then you didn't realize it was spiritual. And I was going for like fun, entertainment, and then next thing you know, spirit hit me with like a spiritual lesson. Like I literally went through a tower moment like that, and I was like, "Yo, how did this happen so fast?" But that talks about too is on your journey. You got to prepare for your blind spots. You really, it's things
Mm.
that come up that you can't see, sometimes your spirits and sometimes your inner self doesn't allow you to see it because maybe you just need to experience it. You just need to be
Them
present.
blind spots though, sis. Woo. I'm sitting here like, whoa, man, I'm looking for a pen and paper right now. Like, whoa, prepare for my what? Blind spots. Oh, I gotta sleep on that one. Like, go ahead.
Man, no, I
Go
feel like
ahead.
those blind spots like hit you. You know when you got it, when you're driving, you're like, damn, you get ready to get over, and you're like, damn, I didn't see
Hmm.
that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
sometimes like I haven't had that moment hit, but when it hit me like a month, well, hey, wait, 2 weeks ago, my birthday was the 11th. When it hit me that week, I was like, what the this happened? But it's also too a test to see if you are ready to deal with the type of energy that the blind spot brings. Because when you're in a blind spot or you have one and you're trying to get over it, literally you either react, you're going to react some sort of way. You're going to react. So it just it's really a moment to see how you react. like, what do you want to do at this very moment? Do we really need to repeat everything over? Is it something that you need to learn from this, that you need to pick up so you don't, you don't do it again? Is this a hard lesson? And I feel like at that moment, it literally brought something to my attention. It was like I literally was in the moment thinking this was a free spirited moment. I'm about to enjoy. I'm about to uplift all these women. I'm going to celebrate. It's my birthday, and it's going to be. I turned 30. I just finished my Saturn return, which my Saturn return was great.
Awesome.
But at the last day, the day before my Saturn return in, it was destructive. Literally, a friend that was someone that I assumed and visually saw as a friend
Hmm.
was a foe. And they
Hmm.
told me about, basically, they were very uncomfortable with my goddess energy
Hmm.
and read me my rights of what they felt like it was, like told me off. And I was like, no, this bitch didn't. I'm
Hmm.
sitting here like, she is so lucky that I'm into this path, because if
Hmm.
I'll probably whoop your ass right
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
But I was
Right,
on
for
that
real.
frequency, and then it was just something that got me really quickly. That was like, yo, it's you gotta be the magician. And I think when you're in those blind spots too, learning how to operate as the magician is really, really hard, because you can easily do something to cause harm to people, or just bring something else, I guess, like that chaos energy to someone, or you could really transition and use the energy upwards, kind of like tantric.
That's a fact. You could, that's a, thinking about Kali Ma, where she's dancing on top of the sexual couple, right? The copulative couple, but she's destructive,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you have an actual choice on what you going to do with this energy. Do you cut off the head, or
Hmm.
do you transmute this energy? Because it's not always about fighting or
No.
arguing, but it's like in those moments. I'm sure at the time you can't process it, but now you can process it. Saturn return and all of these types of things. So of course it was a lesson,
Yeah.
but we don't, when it's happening, we don't see it like that. But Spirit is always giving us our lessons when we need them. It's just sometimes we don't necessarily imagine that it's going to play out the way that we think it's going to play out all the time. But what we said earlier, the perception of Spirit is now teaching me, will bear witness to that. And maybe what I tend to note is that there was never a moment that Spirit, my soul, wasn't guiding me or teaching me. However, the beautiful part of it, they was so patient with me. They let me say, whenever you ready, we will be here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm ready now.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Even when you, like I said, your experience, you're definitely, that when that came up in a moment, like, of you're like going for fun, but you didn't realize, like, damn, this is a spiritual moment. Like, damn, spirit, I can't have fun. Like, like, you gonna hit me with this, and this is deep. And then it
Yeah.
came to you, and it's a part of, like, your path and what you need to grow deeper into, I believe, to just really, like, make some stuff just happen. Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it's
Because
all
I guess,
mental.
because one of those questions I seen it was like, what's that thing where you 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 can feel crazy. Like
Yeah.
if you really into this spiritual stuff, like if you don't feel a little bit crazy, I don't feel like you you may not be fully committed into this path. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you giving up a lot. You know, I gave up a lot to be here, but I
Yeah.
never lost anything, and that's a difference. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I just came back from Massachusetts with my family, and I didn't see my family in my son's 7, so at
Yeah.
least 7 years I haven't seen my family.
Yeah.
But this whole 7 years, my children, complete initiation. Azor is 7. He seen me change completely,
Completely. Yeah.
completely his life. You know what I'm saying? And he is my strongest critic because
Yeah.
he knows the ins and outs of his dad. You feel me? And
Yeah.
he'll call me up on it and check me at 7. And I'm saying all of this to say that when you take this spiritual journey, it's a new you
Mhm.
in there. I promise you it is.
Yeah.
And that new you is not who you think it is. So
Mm.
don't try to imagine it to be what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Learn it. Let
Yeah.
spirit teach you who you are. You can get so frustrated because it's so much convolution, but like dealing with the moon and the phases. Every 14 days, it's a waning phase that I love. Let it all go. I'll be submitting, throwing, I'll be purging, cleansing, purifying, you name it.
Banishing.
Banishing, cleansing, whatever you call it, cleaning,
Yeah.
purging,
Yeah.
like go,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
That's the spiritual process too,
Yeah.
where patriarchy will say, but that's the feminine aspect. That's the
Yeah.
release.
Yeah.
We gonna accumulate and get stuff and intend things and want things, cool.
Yeah.
But that's half of the process.
I agree.
Most of us don't deal with that other half of the process of letting go all of the things that we thought we knew about ourselves.
Mhm. And
You
all
know.
the things that you have to go back to, like, try to remember, or people try to remind you of who you were, and then you're like, damn, I'm different. And it's like they don't believe you're really different. Like, they know you're different. They can tell by the way you talk. They can tell by your energy, like how you respond to things. But then they looking at you like, how you change so much, how
Hmm.
you doing what you
Doing the
doing.
work.
Yeah. and,
Doing the
and,
work.
but you still get those people that are non game players, or just, that don't really understand it, and they're just like, you're not the same. You're not the same, hood. You've changed. But and they know that, but they don't. It's like they want to know what you're doing, but they're like, no, it sounds too good to be true. And you're like,
Facts.
I'm tapping into myself, and they want to ask you, they want to know, but then if they feel like if they ask you, they want you to explain, that you're gonna, I don't know, judge them. I don't know. It's weird, but I bet you got that a lot when you went home.
I mean, I know that I'm a different person, but you know what? It manifested different though, sis, because I had my children with me. So instead of them focusing on me, they was kind of speaking on me to my children. Now,
Oh, okay.
my nobody ever tells me about me, how
Mm-hmm.
they view me or how they see me. I sometimes question, I ask my wife, like, am I a ghost?
No.
Or am I a real person? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But when my kids, they're like, very smart children, just
Yeah.
like your dad. I'm like, I'm smart? Like, you think I'm smart? Very independent, just like your dad. And I was like, independent? I thought I was a black sheep of the family and
Yeah.
didn't want to listen. Now I'm
Right.
independent. Like, these things. And it's just like, I really didn't want to take this path. I wish I could have made my family happy and please them, right?
Yeah.
If before I started this journey and you said no self or make your family happy, I would have chose make my family happy in a heartbeat
Yeah.
because I am my family.
Yeah.
However, this spiritual journey said
Not this time.
you can't do that. You're gonna have to really do 7 years of real introspective, and you gonna sacrifice and learn so much about yourself and your energy through your children, through your
Yeah.
partners, through your friends and people, complete strangers. You
Yeah.
gonna learn a whole lot about yourself.
Yeah.
And I learned even more about myself this summer doing psychic fairs
Mm.
where I'm just a stranger. I'm just a guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the hood mystic or
Yeah.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things this year, 2020, has told me a lot about myself. Where my rep I thought was one thing, but it ain't even my rep, sis. It's me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And knowing that about myself now becomes a responsibility to share and express that as
Yeah.
often and as freely and as much as I can.
Yeah. I agree. So what do you think 2021 is has in store? I feel like this is a loaded question. What do you
I
think
think,
2021 has in store for
oh
the
man, I think,
energy? Like, what do you think the 2021 energy like comes in to play with? Like, what is it? What is it bringing us into? So if we get to this point, we're here. We know we're finishing up 2020. We know the energy of 2021 is already here. You're tapped in. Period. You know it's here.
mhm,
So what are we expecting for this 2021 energy? What is this? Because now we're in the Aquarian age, right?
yes.
Because I remember you were talking about the first sign back then was Aries. Then I feel like I don't know if this was on the same point, but I don't know if the Piscean age brought the Pisces to the first sign, like you mentioned now,
Mhm,
and maybe the Aquarius is now the first sign. It's moving
mhm,
because of the different age things. So what are we
mhm.
expecting with 2021 and that energy and that role that we're supposed to be playing?
So as a group, we are. So it's not much different except our awareness of ourselves. And that's not everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a small group of us that are, so this conscious, real conscious community, if you like to call it. I call it like light workers or however, whatever name you have for
yeah.
it. It's a small percentage of real ones. And so we've been hijacked a lot of times where we be having the information and people be watching our channels. They don't like
What?
it. They don't
What?
subscribe. They don't share the videos. They just be watching, taking notes. And then they go to their people and just
And
be
say what they?
regurgitating everything they heard from you. And that's been
Yeah,
going on for so long
yeah,
that 2021, we either deal with the that coming to a head or we absolve it completely.
yeah.
So the energy that's in our blood, the iron, the minerals, the crystals even,
Hmm.
all of these things are being activated. So
Yeah,
we are dealing with a spiritual time.
yeah,
So what we think about hierarchy is that somebody gotta give it to you.
yeah.
But we talking about like a queen bee. So these
Mm.
queen bees are now being activated 2021. Now queen bee, you might think is Beyonce and we all love her music, but
Like hell. I can't. I'm not a
I'm
queen.
just saying, I ain't want to do,
You
come
know, I'm
on
gonna play
now,
the devil's
I'm just
advocate.
playing a game now. Uh,
Let me shut up, because it is a
they
game,
want don't want to get banned or nothing, you know what I'm
right?
saying? Say the wrong thing about the beehive, but we gonna use her as a figure, as
Yeah,
something that we could put our minds around.
yeah,
And then you can say all of these people love Beyonce, but it could be a million Beyoncés because it's an energy, it's a frequency that we could tap into, and
yeah,
we can bear witness to that in the beehive. You know,
yeah,
it's hella worker bees. It's only one queen bee. What's she doing? Chilling,
yeah,
telling people what to do. I know that I know this is the divine feminine's power. Y'all supposed to tell us what to do.
yeah.
Y'all supposed to get us in line. Y'all supposed listen.
You need to do.
You can get on this live right now and have a whole different energy with me, sis. And I'll be
Yeah,
like, well, I'm so sorry, sis. And what do I have to do to make it up to you, please? You
yeah,
got a power and a majesty that I know that you may feel that it's not working out for you and you
yeah,
subservient and all of these things, but the divine feminine is first. We come from that. We are that Kali Ma energy. We talked about it earlier. We removing the patriarchy. The
yeah,
patriarchy is falling.
yeah.
The
Sure is.
patriarchy is scared right now.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That reminds
matriarchy is rising.
that it made me think, that brought me onto something totally different. Like, because I was listening, I've heard about the whole Lovecraft thing. I have not watched
Mm-hmm.
it, but it reminded me of of what was playing out and some of the things that I was hearing about it. I have not watched
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm
Sure.
very careful about what I watch because of the mediumship
Sure.
that I have.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of that moment of what is actually happening. And when I channel this recent one that I channeled, it made me think of all of that was dying off, that the feminine perspective is coming through, that it's here. And it's funny because I was going back over my journal notes, and I had wrote about, when I guess I write in third person. Like, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it's weird because I write the way spirit gives me the message, and when I write
Okay.
it down, I read it. And literally spirit was saying the divine, this is a moment of the divine feminine coming into play, like literally rising up, and you just confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about it, when I think about that 2021 energy, I'm thinking about that well, of course we break it down to five. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at just 2021, I'm breaking down that five energy. But it was
Oshun.
something that hit me with 558. That was the number that came through. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to go deep into that spiritual number, but
Mm-hmm.
it talked about the different challenges and changes that were coming up, and then breaking free from karmic energies, and then also beginning to manifest very quickly. So when you
Mm.
talk about that, like that, going into that 21 energy,
Crisis to manifest.
that beehive energy, it just, I don't know, it's something that just made me, when you talked about the beehive energy, it just made me realize that, she's constantly making changes in the beehive. No, you do this, you're here, delegating that 558. But that eight is like transformation too, because you got some worker bees that's dying out there in the field.
They get, yeah,
And then
getting
you got,
smacked up.
yeah, and you got some that's coming back to bring in abundance. So in
Yes.
that process, you have to be, it was something that just hit me, that you have to be willing to die of different aspects or things that you have thought of who you were or who you
Go
might be,
ahead. Go
to
ahead.
go into that transformation. Because many of the times that we're in, we're thinking that we're like this person. But if you really, really surrender and give that five and that eight, you can really, really begin to transform. And a lot of things that are just going to be happening a lot mentally with that 558, and having a lot of justice and challenges along the way too. I think with that 558, it was just something that number resonated
Mm-hmm.
for me, from my experience. When I was talking about 2021, it just, I don't know, something came through for a download, that's what, like, a lot of the energy is holding, that five, and that eight. And when we look at the total number, it's a lot of it's a lot of ascended masters and angels that are here literally right now at this present moment, that
Mm-hmm.
can assist you through those changes if you're willing to die,
Mm-hmm.
transform that
Mm-hmm.
aspect. And I didn't realize how deep it was, but spirit was informing me, like, yo, you got some help right here. You have to call on that.
Facts.
You got to call on the
Facts.
angel of that vibration, of that frequency.
I
Not
went
everybody's
through
the same.
I went through a serious download of guardian angels and guardian angels being pissed off
Mm,
because it's so much, they got so much help, but they can't just go off of their own recognizance. They actually need you to engage and demand,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. But Aries deals with the three energies of dominion, integrity, and completion, right?
yeah,
So to start off our magical journey, we got to be in control.
yeah,
Now, certain times where we got our feelings hurt, our heart broke, so forth and so on, we all done been there, done that. However, what's next? The lesson. That's the alchemy.
yeah,
The alchemy, the golden age, that's 2021.
yeah,
Now, I say this is going to be a perfect and brilliant and amazing time. And you'd be like, well, what you mean, Hood? Why you saying that like that? And I'll just say, ain't they going crazy? Ain't they trying to
yeah,
make you be in fear?
yeah, yeah. Big
Why is
time.
they trying to do that?
Yeah, big time.
So I say you can either believe me or believe them at this point. I say it's going to be a brilliant, glorious time, right? I know that. Now, the only reason you may disagree because what you seeing on the news,
Yeah. What you tapping into, the frequency.
and that's
Yeah.
perfect. I can't argue with you. I just this is what I'm tapping into. This is what I see. That 558 energy, I see it from crisis to manifestation.
all the way, all the way. And when you talk about that three, it hit me on another download that I got when someone says that the three represent for them life, death, and rebirth. But for me, when it came to me, it represent the conscious playing out, the subconscious, and super conscious. And then when those three worlds combine, it's like it's running simultaneously. It's running, but it's like it's in the background. So you have to determine which one you're going to tune into at that very moment. But then it also talked about how the number nine was like zero, and it wrapped all three of them into one, ready to be released. I don't know, this might be too freaking
No,
deep,
no, 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 no.
but
9 is 3 and 0. I'm
yeah,
with you.
it talked about like this was all downloads like that was coming
Hmm.
through that it was talking about like how it's running simultaneously, and it's like the nine, but it's also a zero, and it's
Hmm.
like the snake eating its tail that's constantly in some sort of, I don't know, like movement, motion, but
Right,
not really in motion. It's weird
right.
to explain it, but like
That's the
motion.
Ouroboros, but then that's also they say in mathematics if you add any number by 9, it always equates to itself. Like 9 plus 1 is 10, but
Yeah,
9 plus like something to do with
yeah,
9, and it just comes back to the same
to the
number,
same.
right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
9 plus 1 is 10, but 1 plus 0 is 1. So 9 plus 1 equals 1,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But 1 plus 0 is 1 too. So
yeah,
9 and 1, 9 and 0 is the same number.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't realize that until Spirit gave me a download and was like, yo, the, but even to break it down, like Spirit had to break it down on a micro level and a macro level of the three, the nine, and then the zero, how it all plays out and how it kind of. And I went a little bit into it in my life, but I kind of didn't tell everybody everything because I was like, that part was for
Wait
me.
a
I know
second,
Spirit gave it to
sis.
me.
You're doing it like
I'm
you such a healer. Like so
I was like, I didn't tell. Listen, because some stuff Spirit gave me was like, nah, you can't tell that much because we gave that to you for that aspect, but you can give them the basis. And then I
Mhm,
went into the basis, but I didn't go like to the deep part, like kind of like going into what we talked about, the nine and the zero,
mhm,
and how that is all incorporated. It reminds me, you know what the zero just reminded me of?
mhm,
The tree that you were
mhm,
talking about, how
mhm,
the tree is just the observer.
mhm,
Like, oh,
mhm,
it's weird. Like
mhm.
how the tree was it's just the tree. It doesn't do anything. It's just the tree.
It's there.
It's there.
But it
It's,
provides though. It's
yeah,
like it allows for the number system to exist because it's there. And you might even say that the trees are our ancestors
yeah,
in a way. Is
absolutely.
so 0 would be the ancestor to the numbers. So the womb of creation holds space while we get our shit together. And
Mm.
then when it's time to go home, guess where we gonna go back to?
The tree.
The tree, the 0.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna go back to nothing, and the ego is so afraid of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the soul is always there. It
Mm.
never leaves. So
Yeah.
that goes back into meditation. What's the most powerful meditation we can bring into this realm? Nothingness.
Nothing. Yes. Yes. That's when I found myself when I meditated on nothingness. When I said I want nothing, I just want to be nothing. And that's where I got my growth. That's where I started. Many of you ask, I've always said that. I started at the point of nothingness, like at zero, nothing, and everything started to unfold. But then too, my ego had came into it. I
Yes.
noticed that my ego had came into it after. I was like, yo, I'm getting all these celebrity readings, like,
Yes. Yes.
and then Spirit was like, wait a minute, we got you to this point, so you need to go back to nothingness. And when I started to go back, I learned more. So I guess it's a never ending cycle.
I went to nothingness. That's been a goal this whole week, and it's been now I'm recharged. But
Yeah.
because the ego would be like, "Oh, you done put out books, boy. You done
Yeah,
did
I know
this. You
you put
done
out
did
a whole. I'm
that."
sorry, I'm about to gas you up. You put out a whole book on how to read astrology from that
Facts.
perspective. Like,
Yeah.
four children, a wife,
Yeah.
your your inner self, your higher God, Kyrie, like all of, you put out a whole book.
And it's like I'm so aloof and have trouble with focusing that it's like a real book. It's like 200 pages and like it's it's healthy. Like it's a like you could put it on your bookshelf next to, the metal netter or whatever you got on your bookshelf. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
Yeah,
look at you, boy, you done did something with your life. And when you put it out and it's a good work, you still ain't got your fruits yet. It's
yeah,
like I still it's still a seed under earth and we can have these conversations, but it's like the manifestations and the work that I'm doing is going to pay off a long time from now. And if we can have conversations now, that's cool, but I'm in it with y'all.
yeah. And people
I'm just
asking
a
right now where to
farmer.
buy the book. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you go on Amazon. I know it's the
Uh,
Amazon. It's on Amazon.
but you can buy it from me. I got them right now. So you can
Okay,
go to Columbian Exchange with an X.
hold on. Let me put it in the chat. Colombian Exchange. Oh wait, no, no E with an X.
Mhm. .com.
Can they cash app you and just ship it, or they have to do it through that?
You could cash at me if you want to do it like that. Just DM me. You know what I'm saying? I would just need to have an address and things of that nature. So
Yeah,
DM me and I can. But it's just like a regular guy. You can. It's just like Amazon, but it's just me.
yeah, yeah. I keep selling mystuff, and I feel bad too because I haven't got the book yet. But it's like
hmm
I told you in the beginning how I am with these books. Like I'll get these books and I'm
Oh
reading, I'm
yeah,
jumping on to the next one. But I'm definitely going to get one. I'm gonna send you my stuff because
but that's
I
the
need it.
thing.
I
I
need it.
gotta come. I gotta come back. That was the whole. Remember, I told you I was looking at marketing, and I'm like, man, I gotta revisit this like content that supports the books that I already got out. Because even though I'm giving you the book, it ain't going to teach you astrology. We got to still work on this thing. We got to we got to
Yeah,
understand this thing. And
yeah,
so please don't purchase the book and imagine that it's just going to be an end all be all. But that's kind of my responsibility too. So, that's why I put out content. That's why I'm constantly referencing astrology and constantly learning because I'm trying to show y'all
yeah,
how it looks. You know what I'm saying? It's not no even me with the books. I'm still learning. I'm still expanding because that's what the universe is doing as well. The
yeah,
universe is learning from us. Right?
yeah.
It's just we're all learning from each other. Like
I
we're
agree.
co-creating and
Yeah,
creating something new, and that's our responsibility at this
yeah,
point. What's within you. I know it's something within you that's very magical and sublime, but I
yeah,
can't go within you and figure that out. That's gonna have to be your responsibility in this, and I can facilitate and help, but
yeah,
we just got to know what we're doing.
yeah, yeah. Gotta know which door to go through. Gotta know
Yes,
which door to go through. Absolutely. It's been so good.
yeah, we've been
all of these
chopping it
all
like.
of these people are just like, it's crazy. The vibes. You know what somebody said? We should do this every Wednesday. They was like, we thought that y'all have known each other for the longest of time. And then someone was like, y'all need to do this every Wednesday for real.
Yeah, I
Wednesday
would.
is just a great day for communication for me.
You had already said that, and
Yeah.
I'm already for that. Like, I want to continue this. Like, I want to expand with you. I want to co-create with you. Like, it's like we just met. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's just
Yeah.
like, this is so awesome. But
Yeah.
I don't want to quit though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I want to continuously grow and learn and just watch you grow and all of that. It's just beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Because you want to know what showed up in my chart for real, for real? I'm
What's
being
that?
honest. Like, I mean, I love empowering all people, but it didn't show up great in my chart for like women,
hmm
women like co-creation, like getting things together with, I don't know. It just,
hmm
it's the past life thing, it just doesn't work
hmm
out. But
hmm
if I move forward with like that male energy, I was just that total balance for me. And
Mhm.
I really love being in this present moment with just us together, just being able to go vibe, to go. It feels like we've known each other forever. And it feels
Mhm.
like we're both on the same track to opening that pathway and
Mhm.
that really helping people to expand on something other than just what they see or what they think they know about the moon or what they think they know about just manifestation, just making a what is it called, a visualization board, like sticking a whole
Mhm.
bunch of pictures and
Vision
just
board,
vision,
yeah.
yeah, a vision board, yeah. Like I feel like we're kind of like giving a little bit more practical to things that are practical, if that makes sense, or more like
Yeah. I'll
analytical to practical things.
I'll do you one better. So to this past week, up until we had this conversation, we've been talking. I've been really feeling like, dare I say, used, and not
Mm,
by people. Just nobody did nothing wrong, right?
right.
But I felt like I just wanted to just be in in sacred space with somebody and just kind of go back and forth. You know, when people start talking to me, they start thinking about how I can help them. And me, I have this need to want to help. So it's like a match made in hell, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I really felt like this longing and this like real panging for this moment. So I just want to
Yeah.
thank you because it just was
Thank you.
pure exchange. And I
Yeah.
think this is a teaching moment for people who are coming into relationships, coming into divine partnerships, and they trying to figure out what they can get out of it,
Yeah.
right? How they can benefit from it.
Yeah.
This is something beyond that. This transcends that.
Yeah.
There is no ulterior motive. You know, you deal with
Absolutely.
that so much
Hmm.
that this is just like what I needed.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for that.
And I want to thank you because you are what I needed with the transformation, with bringing on um, that acceptance, that truth part that we talked about, like even before, just knowing the truth about who I am, and then seeing a reflection of the truth. Because I really feel like
You
you're
need
the,
that. You need
yeah,
that.
I feel like you're the reflection of truth. Like you don't, I don't feel like you hold back. I feel like you execute. And like for me, I needed to realize that my truth is my truth. Like, and
Hmm.
when I see you, you exemplify that. So I thank
Hmm.
you for that truth and being in your truth and always being honest and just giving so many different perspectives to something that we try to wrap our hand around. Like
Yes.
you can always, like for you, you can be spiritual, but you know when to not, when to turn it off. And like
Hmm.
for me, I'm always in this realm. I don't really know how to turn it off,
Hmm.
but I really appreciate you because you can show, it's like you're showing people how to just be normal into this 3D but also
Hmm.
be in the 5D as well. That
Hmm.
balance, I don't know if everyone's told you that your feminine is so, like your feminine energy is
Hmm.
so mastered. That's why you're so like so deep. But the
Hmm.
masculine energy is so mastered at the same time. I don't know if
Hmm.
anyone's told you that,
Yeah, I
but
mean, I've had to be
crazy.
in particular experiences where I had to fully be in those things at extreme, where it's like working very, very hard or
Okay.
loving very, 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 very much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I'm very extreme.
Yeah.
So I can fight.
Yeah.
I can cook. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like
It's,
however you want to do it, we can do it.
yeah.
I just want to be. I don't. I don't like boxes, and I don't like stereotypes or
Yeah.
saying what I can or can't do. I just really want to be me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But in order to be me, I have to understand me. And you could easily put a limit on yourself, or I can easily limit myself or cap myself. But as I'm transforming and I'm looking at how I'm going to move forward, that when you talk about things that need to die, that. You know what I'm saying? Like the limits that we put on ourselves are the limits that we live with.
Yeah.
And removing those things is kind of scary, but it's liberating to
Yeah.
know that like you thought you was gonna fall, but you found out you can fly.
Right, yeah. You're
And
doing something
so
right. You are doing it.
yeah,
You're doing it
yeah.
right. I mean, I'm letting you. I know. I feel
I
it.
appreciate you.
You're doing it right. It feels like it feels like you're not making, like you're not going. You're doing it. You are.
Mm,
And you're living proof of that, because it's just, I don't even vibe with, like, everybody can tell you on my live, like, I'm just super all
just
into
you.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's never me, like, because I always feel like people just don't get it. I'm
Mm,
like, oh, you don't get me, because I'm so like
yeah.
scientifical, and I'm all into a different world. I feel it.
Mm,
I feel like I'm like, man, let me not say this because somebody's going to judge me, but
facts.
when I
Mm,
get that person, and I know I know you understand, I know you get it.
mm,
So you're doing the work. You don't have
I
anything to worry
appreciate you.
about. And I feel like, obviously, we definitely need to keep this going. We definitely need to
Yes.
keep building.
Mm,
I think it would be great to just come and have that complete balance. I can tell even by the lives it's still up. Even I don't even
mm,
know what time it is, but it's
yeah.
still, I know it's late
Yeah,
in the
I don't
morning.
even care. Like it's
Yeah,
just one of those things where this needed to happen at
yeah,
this time and really going into this full moon energy where this is like the cap off of full moon because it's always 3 days before, 3 days after, and we
yeah,
deal with full moons as realizations or illuminations.
yeah,
I've been illuminated this evening, you know.
yeah. That's true. That's definitely true. 3 days after, and it does bring in illumination. That's what it's about. It shines. It shines in those aspects probably that we can't see, or that we just don't
Them blind
recognize.
spots, them
Yeah,
blind
the
spots.
blind spots. Oh, we got something.
Yes, yes,
All
yes.
right. So, do y'all have any more questions before we end this live? Because listen, I mean, the questions are coming through.
That's
Somebody
a fact.
asking, look, Karma and Shy done became friends
That
on here, giving each
done,
other some deep
yes,
advice
yes.
on
That is,
here. Um, you're welcome. Pluto is in Scorpio. That's what Karma was saying. Pluto is in Scorpio.
mhm.
Death and transformation is in death and transformation.
We haven't scheduled the class. I'll be updating because I work with a team on that actual. We work like the class is meditation and it's a whole
It depends.
presentation. So
Yeah.
it depends. It's going to be the third or fourth weekend in November, but I'll let people know very soon.
Okay. The classes could be coming up. I don't have any classes. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be tuning in to your classes for real, because I
yeah.
don't have the classes right now.
Tap in.
I'm
Is
super on, like I said, Cali, right? Cali, I'm still gone.
That's why I'm recording them because like once I do this, they're gonna be there and like that's kind of been a transformation where I'm doing work now
Yeah,
because
they can
the
be
neck
there.
is gonna be there if you need it, but we're gonna keep growing and saving things because a
Yeah,
lot of work we were doing earlier, we were just doing it on the
yeah.
fly, but now it's like let's just
Do it together.
capture it
Yeah, capture it, hold it, do it. Make sure you have it.
and then share it, because people can bear witness to the work that we're doing
Yeah.
and the activation that we're doing. It's like, it's not for fake,
No.
it's real.
Yeah.
And the difference between me and everybody else is that I'm telling you that these things that are within you, you don't
Yeah.
need to go to nowhere else. You could be at home, you can be in quarantine. All of these things are within you, and all of the places that you can go are within you.
Yeah.
So let's start traveling. Let's
Yeah.
get prepared.
Yeah, I agree. I think that helped too with this new phase and this energy that's going on. Everyone's tapped into what's going on out in the world, but I really feel like it's a lot of things that, like, of course, the media is playing this role of what's going on, but right now, if you focus on you, you're going to have the biggest transformation. And
That's a fact.
I really feel
Trust,
it.
trust, trust in those words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust in those words, because
Yeah.
this all, like they say, a distraction.
Yeah.
Distraction,
It is.
to what you. What are
Yeah.
they distracting you for? From yourself.
Absolutely. From that growth, from that pain, from that hurt, from whatever it is that you need to transform. I totally agree. Trust me, I'm in the middle of
Facts.
mine. I'm in the middle of mine.
Yes, I'm in one too. Don't get it twisted. It's like y'all need to have my oldest son on here if y'all ever wanted to get some dirt on me. He'd talk
Yeah.
for days. Let me tell y'all about my dad. Y'all
Yeah.
think he
Yeah. Trust me, my daughter too. She's two, but she's like
they be
40.
knowing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a 2 year old myself in advance. So that's
Advanced.
a that's another way that we connected. So I don't know if you got a 2 year old.
Yeah. She came home and told me that that the teacher said you're hard headed, not to her, but to
Mm,
another guy. Like she knows everything, and I'm like,
at
who said
two?
that?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
she
amazing.
she came back and she said you hard headed, and I was like, huh? What?
Hmm.
I don't talk like that. You're dead.
Hmm.
Who? What? So I'm like, I asked her, I was like, who told you that? Who said that? And she told me the teacher's name, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I know the teacher said it because we don't say it. So
Hmm.
I know if she came back and she said verbatim, literally in at 2, she's turning 3 very, very soon. But at 2, she came back and said that. And I was
Hmm.
like, and then she came home and she told me that the teacher, like, this teacher, like, pinched her face. And I'm like,
Hmm.
was it in a loving way? And she's like, no, mommy, it wasn't.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so let me run up there. So I
Hmm.
had to get her moved.
Oh
But yeah,
wow.
she literally told me, like, and this is
Wow.
like a great daycare, or at least I thought, but she literally said, you're hard headed. So the teacher had told that to another child and she remembered. So that
Hmm.
tells you that they're older, they really are our
Better.
ancestors that are back. They're really beings. Like people think children are just children and they're not. They're here to teach us
No, I need to
and
let
show
that
us.
go.
Yeah, they're here to show us for sure. So you got anything else you wanna mention before we get out of here?
Yeah, like these children, I know you'd be trying to tell y'all children what to do, but I tend to listen to my children and it never failed me. So,
Yeah,
listen to them kids and they got a lot of wisdom for you, and I can't wait till next Wednesday.
yeah,
We'll be fully charged up, and we'll
yeah.
have a whole bunch of different things to talk about,
Talk
I'm
about
sure. And
absolutely.
I just can't wait for the opportunity to co-create with you once more, sis.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Let's do it next Wednesday. Let's check. Well,
Yes.
I'll keep in touch for sure,
Yeah, for
and then
sure.
we'll figure out like timing and everything like we did, and really go off of that flow because I think it's a
Yes.
great thing. I think
Yes, we didn't plan this out or nothing. You know
no,
how many interviews I be having to plan out that don't
no,
work out this well, you know what I'm saying? So this
no,
is more than divine. I'm more than
absolutely.
grateful.
Absolutely. Well, good night. Good night,
Peace.
God.
Peace to
Peace.
the family.
Love. Peace to the
Yes,
family. Thanks
yes.
to everybody that was here. You want to drop your cash app too if you guys want to donate, if you just want to give the frequency of love. Kyrie's gonna put his cash app in there, just to have him on and to just flow and just to be in that energy.
Peace, family.
Guys, peace, peace,
Yeah,
love,
anytime I'm
love.
on this platform, it's always to aid in valuable, applicable spiritual information. And if y'all got questions, feel free to ask. You understand? Like, because that's what we here for. None of this information is mine. I done cracked open books. I done been places in this earth. And if you in this earth with me, it's ours. It's not mine. It's not a me thing. It's a us thing. It's a we thing. Please understand that.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings, you guys.
Peace.
Wadu.
Ashe.